Chapter 839. Amazing. The invincible Supremes on the Supreme Leaderboard are too terrifying. Every one of them is unimaginably powerful. They're simply inhuman. At this moment, Hua Yunfei couldn't help but say with a trembling voice. Naturally, he had also seen the Supreme Leaderboard. The invincible Supremes on the leaderboard were too powerful. Their glorious past and terrifying battle records were as dazzling as the stars. In comparison, the invincible Supremes of each era couldn't be compared to these invincible Supremes on the leaderboard. Hearing this, Wang Mang was speechless. Of course they're powerful. Didn't you hear what they said? The 188th session, 100 eras per session. There are as many as 180,000 invincible Supremes, but only 100 of them may be on the Supreme Leaderboard. It's almost the same. Only 1 out of 100 invincible Supremes can make it on the Supreme Leaderboard. At this point, Wang Mang couldn't help but sigh. Then, Wang Mang turned his gaze to the silver steel beside him. The main reason was that the fierce people on the Supreme Leaderboard were simply too powerful. It was easy to get carried away by watching too much. Once it got carried away, it was easy to die. It was like watching a big shot play a game, and the controls were godly. In the end, he was too carried away by watching it. After a fierce game, the final result was 0-5. Therefore, Wang Mang was very self-aware. He couldn't compare to these fierce people. Anyone on the Supreme Leaderboard. They were really fierce. 1 in 10,000 was not enough to describe these guys. They could be said to be fierce people who suppressed an era. Moreover, they were so fierce that none of them had ever been before. Moreover, watching too much of these things would really affect people. For example, Wang Mang noticed that Hua Yunfei, at this moment, clenched his fists, his eyes were firm, and his fighting spirit was high. He muttered to himself, "There may be a place for me on this leaderboard in the future." After hearing this guy's words, Wang Mang chuckled in his heart. "Damn it, you're even more arrogant than me. I can reach the legendary level now. You're AF * King, legendary genius. Even I'm not as arrogant as you." Furthermore, Wang Mang wasn't the only one who heard these words. The geniuses at the scene heard it. At that instant, the crowd of geniuses focused their attention on Hua Yunfei. Unsurprisingly, these gazes were filled with ridicule and mockery. Many sky prides couldn't help but sneer on the spot. "You should know your place. Do you think you can enter the sovereign leaderboard?" Mother of *. Anyone with a clear mind wouldn't be able to say that. "Awesome. You're going to enter the sovereign leaderboard? Why are you so awesome? If you drink less wine, you won't say such ridiculous things. It's fine. Dreams are always necessary. When you go back to sleep, you'll have everything in your dreams. Bro, if we had 2 cephalosporins, we wouldn't be so drunk. Do you have any big brothers? Please hurry and wake this child up." Wang Mang instantly felt embarrassed when he heard the crowd's mockery. He quickly distanced himself, indicating that he didn't know this guy. When he heard the crowd's unbridled mockery, Hua Yunfei, he came back to his senses, and his face turned red from the mockery. However, he had nothing to say in response. He was so embarrassed that he wanted to crawl into a hole and hide his face. After taking a deep breath, Hua Yunfei thickened his skin and said coldly, "How do you know that I can't enter the sovereign leaderboard? How could you ants know on my lofty ambitions?" Wang Mang was speechless when he heard Hua Yunfei's words. He didn't expect this guy to be so thick-skinned. Hearing this, the crowd of geniuses present, they even began to laugh unscrupulously. "This guy must be crazy. He wants to enter the sovereign leaderboard. Wait until you become a legendary genius. Enter the sovereign leaderboard? If you can enter the sovereign leaderboard, I'll kneel down to you right now." Huh? He wants to enter the sovereign leaderboard? That's basically impossible. That's right. Although there are geniuses at the 9th heaven of the divine god realm on the sovereign leaderboard, those who are at the same level will have priority. Kid, you can dream about it after you enter the sovereign leaderboard. Haha, it'll be good enough if you can enter the top 10,000, let alone the top 100. After hearing the crowd's words, Hua Yunfei trembled in anger. On the other hand, Wang Mang couldn't help but look at the sovereign leaderboard that the crowd was talking about. The sovereign leaderboard was the silver tablet next to the golden tablet. There were also 100 names recorded on it. However, Wang Mang didn't believe that he would be able to enter the top 100 of all the prodigies in the universe. However, based on what the crowd said, the sovereign leaderboard should be able to accept 10,000 geniuses. If entering the top 10,000 was considered entering the sovereign leaderboard, Wang Mang was more or less confident that he could enter the sovereign leaderboard. Facing the crowd's mockery, Hua Yunfei's face was filled with anger. He gritted his teeth and said, "The sovereign leaderboard is this silver tablet, right? How do I check if I'm on the sovereign leaderboard? I'll show it to you right now." Hearing this, one of the geniuses mocked. "You think you can enter the sovereign leaderboard? It's simple if you want to know if you're qualified. Place your hand on the tablet for the period it takes an incense stick to burn. If you're qualified enough to enter the sovereign leaderboard and enter the top 10,000, your ranking will appear on the tablet, and you will be given a seal of the sovereign leaderboard. If you're not qualified enough to enter the sovereign leaderboard, the tablet will show no reaction." Saying this, the rest of the geniuses glanced at Hua Yunfei and mocked him. "Go ahead. Let's see if you're qualified enough to enter the sovereign leaderboard." It's impossible for him to enter the sovereign leaderboard. That's right. The sovereign leaderboard is based on one's overall strength and background. It's not something that anyone can enter just because they want to. Someone like him, trying to enter the sovereign leaderboard? Go to sleep. Hua Yunfei was infuriated by the crowd's mockery, who went up to the tablet furiously. In front of all the sky prides, Hua Yunfei walked up to the stone pillar and slowly placed his hand on it. However, as time gradually passed, Hua Yunfei's expression darkened. That was because the huge stone pillar in front of him didn't react at all. Seeing this, all the heaven's favorites began to laugh without restraint. They all began to taunt. This caused Hua Yunfei to feel extremely embarrassed. Following this, his eyes flickered as he uttered a furious roar. "Even though I can't enter the sovereign leaderboard for now, my brother can." As he spoke, Hua Yunfei immediately pointed at Wang Mang and proudly introduced him. "You're right. This brother of mine has killed over 700 geniuses outside the second city gate. Now, he can become a legendary genius at any time, and his strength can surpass the extremity realm at any time. He should be qualified enough to enter the sovereign leaderboard, right? If even my brother isn't qualified enough to enter the sovereign leaderboard, how about I kill myself here?" Chapter 840. After hearing Hua Yunfei's confident words, Wang Mang could not help but stare with his mouth agape. What the F ******? Isn't that a bit too ruthless? Die on the spot? Does this guy have to be so ruthless? Isn't he being too confident in me? To be honest, Wang Mang was not confident either. He could definitely make it onto the monarch ranking. After all, the mission given by the system was to reach the top of the monarch ranking. However, even though Wang Mang was confident that he could make it onto the monarch ranking, he was not confident that he could make it onto the monarch ranking. In other words, Wang Mang did not feel confident in the face of Hua Yunfei's flattery. Similarly, after hearing Hua Yunfei's flattery, the geniuses shifted their attention to Wang Mang. Most of them were doubtful. It was obvious that not everyone was optimistic about Wang Mang's chances. Besides, they did not know Wang Mang at all. Therefore, they had no reason to believe that Wang Mang could really make it onto the monarch ranking. Many of the geniuses even voiced their doubts on the spot. Is he the only one who can make it onto the monarch ranking? I don't think so. That's right. His aura is not at the level of a legendary genius. If he's a legendary genius, he might be able to make it onto the monarch ranking. I don't think he's any different from me. Him? That's right. He's not as handsome as me. He doesn't have the aura of a powerful expert. Wang Mang's face darkened after hearing the discussions of the geniuses. Then, Wang Mang shifted his gaze to Hua Yunfei. Hua Yunfei nodded at Wang Mang confidently and said, "Brother, go ahead and try. I believe in you." Wang Mang was speechless after hearing that. "UF *** King believe in me? I don't even believe in myself." Although he was still doubtful. However, on the surface, Wang Mang remained calm and composed. He stood with his hands behind his back and slowly walked toward the stone pillar like an expert. Then, under the gaze of the geniuses, Wang Mang slowly raised his hand and placed it on the ordinary-looking stone pillar. Then, Wang Mang also stared at the stone pillar in front of him. But what made Wang Mang extremely embarrassed was that, after the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, there was still no movement from the stone pillar. The heavenly legends, on the other hand, began to mock him. Mother Vasteraskur, I really thought he could make it onto the monarch ranking. That's right. You put on a decent act, but you're just a paper tiger. This guy's acting skills are not bad. Even I was fooled by him. Who was the one who said he wanted to kill himself on the spot? Why don't you kill yourself on the spot? In an instant, all sorts of mocking voices rang out. Wang Mang was also embarrassed. His expression was a little unnatural. However, compared to Wang Mang's embarrassment, Hua Yunfei's eyes widened. He looked at Wang Mang in disbelief. Logically speaking, since Wang Mang had the battle prowess of peak God Emperor and was about to become a legendary prodigy, he shouldn't be unqualified to be listed on the monarch board. It would be good even if he was at the bottom. For a moment, Hua Yunfei wished he could find a hole to hide in, especially when he thought of how he had flattered Wang Mang. He felt utterly humiliated. Because of that, Hua Yunfei looked to Wang Mang with a gaze filled with hidden bitterness. Seeing this scene, even the extremely thick-skinned Wang Mang felt extremely embarrassed. Under everyone's mocking gazes, Wang Mang pretended to be calm and said, "It seems that I have to become a legendary prodigy before I have the confidence to be listed on the monarch board. That day won't be long." After saying that, under the mocking gazes of the heavenly legends, Wang Mang left with his hands behind his back. Similarly, Hua Yunfei hurriedly followed him out awkwardly. This time, he had really embarrassed himself. However, he was the one who started this, so he couldn't shirk the responsibility. If he hadn't said that he would be listed on the monarch board, they wouldn't have been ridiculed in every possible way. Soon, Wang Mang and Hua Yunfei arrived outside the third city gate. After walking out of the city, Wang Mang was shocked to find that there were many prodigies here. At a glance, there were close to 3,000 sky prides in total. More importantly, most of these 3,000 prodigies had the combat power of a late-stage God Emperor. What made him heave a sigh of relief was that he didn't find any prodigies with the combat power of the paramount realm. However, after thinking carefully, Wang Mang nodded inwardly. If there were any prodigies with the combat power of the paramount realm, then these prodigies wouldn't dare to leave the city easily. Paramount realm prodigies had the combat power of a 9th-level God Emperor. It was a huge dividing line. Prodigies with the combat power of a 9th-level God Emperor couldn't compete with those with the combat power of the paramount realm. Prodigies with the combat power of the paramount realm could easily crush those with the combat power of a 9th-level God Emperor. This was because prodigies with the combat power of the paramount realm had already broken away from any external help. They relied on themselves to reach this level. Prodigies with the combat power of a 9th-level God Emperor couldn't compete with prodigies with the combat power of the paramount realm. Otherwise, the ancient emperor wouldn't have dared to be so arrogant. He was clearly alone, but he dared to intercept 2,000 prodigies. This was a prodigy with the combat power of the paramount realm. Prodigies with the combat power of a 9th-level God Emperor were from two completely different worlds. However, at this moment, Wang Mang suddenly felt a sharp gaze filled with killing intent looking at him. After raising his head, Wang Mang saw a white-robed figure looking at him with a face full of killing intent at the entrance of the fourth city. Beside this white-robed prodigy, there were 5 other prodigies with powerful auras. All of them had the combat power of a peak 9th-level God Emperor. One of them gave Wang Mang a feeling of fear and trepidation. In the next moment, just as Wang Mang was feeling puzzled, this white-robed prodigy was already walking towards Wang Mang. In the end, the white-robed young prodigy stopped in front of Wang Mang. "You're Wang Mang, right? You have guts to dare to kill my people." This prodigy stared coldly at Wang Mang and said coldly. Hearing this, Wang Mang was shocked. He looked at this prodigy and was about to speak. At this moment, Hua Yunfei, who was beside Wang Mang, shouted angrily, "Who do you think you are? Are you teaching my brother how to do things?" My brother has killed at least 800 prodigies, if not 1,000. Who do you think you are? Hearing this, Wang Mang was stunned. He calmly stood with his hands behind his back and said with the demeanor of an expert, "Even if I killed him, what can you do about it?" Seeing how arrogant Wang Mang was, Luo Tianqing immediately flew into a rage and said with a sinister expression, "Good, good, good. You." Just as Luo Tianqing was about to explode in anger, a voice suddenly rang out. "Luo Tianqing, come back." Hearing this, Luo Tianqing finally calmed down. He then looked coldly at Wang Mang and said, "Little bastard, when my brother breaks through to the supreme realm, it will be the time of your death." With that, Luo Tianqing turned and left. He walked to the side of a blue-robed prodigy. It was this prodigy who gave Wang Mang a sense of fear, even though they were of the same cultivation level. After hearing Luo Tianqing's words, Wang Mang was even more shocked. He quickly looked at the blue-robed prodigy and saw that the blue-robed prodigy and Luo Tianqing were looking at them from time to time. The 6 prodigies seemed to be discussing something. Not long after, the other 5 prodigies followed the blue-robed prodigy and flew towards the depths of the great wilderness forest. Seeing this, Wang Mang felt even more uneasy. Needless to say, these 6 prodigies were the so-called Nightmare Alliance. The one that really made Wang Mang uneasy was the blue-robed prodigy. Was this guy going to break through to the next realm? If this guy really broke through to the next realm, how could he destroy the Nightmare Alliance? By then, he would not be able to destroy the Nightmare Alliance. He would be lucky if he was not destroyed by the Nightmare Alliance. Chapter 841. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's face was gloomy. No, he definitely couldn't let this guy break through. Otherwise, he was definitely going to die. He couldn't even complete the 2 missions. Once the other party broke through to the extreme state, then who else could be a match for the Nightmare Alliance? All the geniuses present would probably suffer. By then, how could he kill 300 geniuses? By then, how could he destroy the Nightmare Alliance? Just as Wang Mang's face was gloomy, Hua Yunfei's heart was also heavy. What a guy. He realized that Wang Mang had really offended a lot of people. At first glance, he knew that the other party wasn't a good person. He might not have taken Luo Tianqing seriously, but that blue-robed genius's aura was too tyrannical. Even though they were at the same level of combat power, he was still able to give him a feeling of trepidation. What did this prove? This proved that the other party was stronger than him. And listening to Luo Tianqing's words, this guy was very likely to be in cahoots. Once he broke through to the extreme state, he would definitely be implicated by Wang Mang. Even a large number of geniuses here would suffer. Thinking of this, Hua Yunfei even wanted to give up on Wang Mang. After all, he and Wang Mang had a mutually beneficial relationship. He was indeed optimistic about Wang Mang. But the problem was, the enemy was too strong. Once he broke through to the extreme state, he would be threatened. But after thinking about it, Hua Yunfei still didn't choose to abandon Wang Mang. After all, Wang Mang was also a potential genius who was about to become a legend. For such a prodigy, it was only a matter of time before he reached the pinnacle state. As for his breakthrough to the extreme state, it wasn't that Hua Yunfei looked down on himself. It was that he had just broken through to the 9th level of the Emperor God. Therefore, his foundation and accumulation were far from enough. Obviously, in Hua Yunfei's opinion, Wang Mang's accumulation was far stronger than his. He would definitely break through to the extreme state before him. Therefore, Hua Yunfei also put away other thoughts. He looked at Wang Mang and asked in a deep voice, "Brother Wang Mang, are we just going to watch this guy make a breakthrough? If we really allow him to break through to the Lammeter level, then I'm afraid we'll be targeted. Even the Sky Prides here are going to suffer. At that time, there would be no need to talk about hunting prodigies. It's good enough that we're not being hunted." Hearing this, Wang Mang sneered and said, "I don't believe that we are the only ones who know about this. Look, after the 6 of them left, many other geniuses also left. Clearly, if this fellow wants to break through to the Lammeter level, we won't be the only ones who can interfere. the others will also choose to stop it. That was indeed the case. Many geniuses quietly followed the Nightmare Alliance and left. He even heard the discussions of many geniuses. This Nightmare Alliance's accumulation is really fast. That's right. This guy wants to break through to the Lamita realm as soon as possible so that he can hunt us down. Haha, that's a good idea. Do you really think we'll just sit here and wait for him to hunt us down? Just now, I saw no less than dozens of Sky Prides following the Nightmare Alliance. Clearly, we're not the only ones who don't want him to break through. There are too many people who don't want him to break through. Let's go. It's obviously impossible for this guy to break through. Let's stop him together. Clearly, many elites wanted to stop this guy from breaking through. Similarly, Wang Mang was no exception. Therefore, after Wang Mang and Hua Yunfei looked at each other, they also chased in the direction of the Nightmare Alliance. However, they did not chase for 2 hours. In a barren forest, Wang Mang and Hua Yunfei immediately discovered. However, their auras suddenly disappeared here. It was as if they had disappeared into thin air. At the same time, Wang Mang also discovered that there were dozens of geniuses in the sky nearby, searching with furrowed brows. Clearly, Wang Mang and Hua Yunfei were not the only ones who had lost their target. These elites had also lost their target. Damn it! Where did the people from the Nightmare Alliance run to? It's unbelievable that we've lost them, unless they have a treasure that can completely cut off their auras. Looks like this guy Wu Ho was already prepared and expected that we would definitely stop him. What should we do now? Are we really going to let this guy break through in peace? If we really let him break through, we can forget about hunting here in peace. That's right. I can't even catch the people from the Nightmare Alliance, even if I use time reversal. I guess they used a level 5 aura concealing talisman. It seems that we won't be able to find him. Unless we have a level 5 tracking talisman, we really won't be able to find this group of guys. Wang Mang's brows furrowed even more when he heard the crowd's discussion. However, after thinking about it carefully, Wang Mang felt relieved. This guy was ready to break through. It was impossible for him not to be prepared, not to mention that many people knew about it. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's face became gloomy, especially after seeing that after searching for a few hours, this group of elites gave up in disappointment. Wang Mang's heart sank to the bottom of the valley. He had to let this so-called Wu Ho break through to the extreme state. Thinking of this, Wang Mang said in his heart, "System, is there any way to find this Wu Ho?" The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. Costs 5 billion energy points. Purchase level 5 tracking talisman. Purchase? After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang's mouth twitched slightly. He gritted his teeth and said in his heart, "Purchase." The next moment, the system's voice sounded, "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully deducted 5 billion energy points." "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully purchased a one-time level 5 tracking talisman. It has been sent to your backpack. Please check." Hearing this, Wang Mang endured the pain and took out a one-time level 5 tracking talisman from his backpack. It was a yellow talisman, but it was filled with the power of laws and powerful Taoist rhymes. The next moment, as Wang Mang activated the talisman, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully used the tracking talisman. Please choose the target to track." Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately said in his heart, "Nightmare Alliance, Wu Ho." The next moment, Wang Mang saw the tracking talisman fly in a direction. Seeing this, Wang Mang quickly said, "Follow." Then, Wang Mang followed the talisman and flew into the depths of the wasteland. Seeing this, Hua Yunfei was a little surprised, but he quickly followed. Then, Wang Mang and Hua Yunfei followed the tracking talisman. After flying for an hour, Wang Mang realized that the tracking talisman had turned into a golden light and rushed into a forest. Seeing this scene, how could Wang Mang not know that the Nightmare Alliance was in this forest? Therefore, Wang Mang immediately told Hua Yunfei to hide his aura and flew into the forest like a mosquito. As expected, When they entered the forest, Wang Mang saw it. Outside a cave, a thick spatial enchantment was set up. Moreover, 5 prodigies, including Luo Tiansheng, were guarding the vicinity of the cave. Seeing this, Wang Mang immediately knew. This guy was very likely preparing to break through. Seeing this, Wang Mang suddenly sneered. Then, he waited patiently. About a day later, Wang Mang felt that it should be about time. At this time, Wu Ho was very likely to have adjusted his state, and he was preparing to break through to the next realm. Thinking of this, Wang Mang said in his heart, "System, use the peak rank 5 one-time bad luck card. Use target, Nightmare Alliance Wu Ho." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully used the peak rank 5 bad luck card. Ding. The target will fall into extreme bad luck in the next 24 hours. If light, bad luck will surround target. If heavy, serious injury will cause death." Chapter 842. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang then nodded in satisfaction. This thing finally came in handy. Next, he just needed to wait for the effect. Moreover, this was a top-notch rank 5 unlucky card. As long as the target did not break through rank 6 and his combat power did not reach the extreme state, then this guy would definitely be affected. At the same time, Hua Yunfei, who was not far away, transmitted a message to Wang Mang. "Brother Wang Mang, when shall we do it?" Hearing that, Wang Mang was stunned for a moment, then transmitted a message. "No hurry. We'll do it soon. This guy should be preparing to break through now." After saying that, Wang Mang felt that it was still not safe. The next moment, Wang Mang turned into his human form. At the same time, Wang Mang also held the god-killing cannon that looked like a Gatling gun in his hand. Seeing the god-killing cannon in Wang Mang's hand, Hua Yunfei was stunned and asked doubtfully, "Brother Wang Mang, what is this thing?" Hearing that, Wang Mang grinned. What was this thing? Of course it was something good. After all, he had a high-level god-killing cannon. The power of this high-level god-killing cannon could kill a late-stage god emperor. He did not know if this high-level god-killing cannon could kill Wu Ho. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was looking forward to it. But just as Wang Mang was about to activate it, he suddenly realized a problem. Would this enchantment be affected? After all, Wang Mang's god-killing cannon could kill a late-stage god emperor. But what if the power was blocked by this enchantment? Thinking of this, Wang Mang suddenly frowned. He felt that it was best to open this enchantment. This way, the power of his god-killing cannon would not be affected. But the problem was with just him and Hua Yunfei, not to mention opening the enchantment. He was afraid that the moment they appeared, they would be intercepted by Luo Tiansheng's Nightmare Alliance. Thinking of this, Wang Mang immediately turned to Hua Yunfei and said softly, "Go and spread the news as fast as you can." As long as the news of Wu Ho breaking through to the extreme realm spreads out, there will definitely be a large number of geniuses coming together to attack him. Hearing this, Hua Yunfei's eyes lit up. He nodded and flew into the distance. He also knew that relying on their strength, it would be extremely difficult to break through the barrier and prevent Wu Ho from breaking through. After all, there were 5 members of the Nightmare Alliance who weren't any weaker than them guarding the door. At the same time, at this moment, Wang Mang was also staring at the cave guarded by the Nightmare Alliance. Wang Mang believed that it was due to the interference of the one-off top-notch level 5 unlucky card. It was impossible for this fellow to successfully break through. That was indeed the case. At that moment in the cave, the boss of the Nightmare Alliance, Wu Ho. At this moment, he was sitting cross-legged, his brows tightly furrowed. If one looked carefully, they would find that the power of laws around him was somewhat unstable. One had to know that this was a very unbelievable thing. The foundation that he had accumulated was enough. Otherwise, he wouldn't have chosen to break through to the extreme realm. Originally, he had already adjusted his state, but just as he was about to break through, the power of laws in his body began to become chaotic. It was as if it was disturbed by something. No matter how long he adjusted, he still couldn't break through to the next realm. After a long time, he had no choice but to temporarily stop breaking through to the next realm. His face was filled with anger as he slowly opened his eyes. But soon, he found out where the problem was. The terrifying black power of laws had already crawled all over his body. These black power of laws made him even more stunned. This was the power of the misfortune law. It had already crawled all over his body. No wonder the power of laws in his body was so chaotic. The power of the misfortune law, among the countless power of laws, represented inauspiciousness and misfortune. Because of this, basically no one would focus on cultivating the power of the misfortune law. Because this thing itself represented inauspiciousness and misfortune, and the user himself carried inauspicious misfortune. Often, there were only two outcomes for those who focused on cultivating the power of the misfortune law. One was to kill themselves, or to defy the heavens, because those who could focus on cultivating the misfortune law were able to cultivate successfully and were synonymous with not to be trifled with. All in all, the misfortune law was not something that ordinary people could withstand. Similar to the luck law, these two could not be casually cultivated. Similarly, if one could cultivate the luck law to the extreme, it would be comparable to hanging on the wall and be known as the child of the great Tao. But a rank 5 powerhouse did not focus on cultivating one type of power of laws, but accommodated any power of laws in the world as the basis for cultivation. To put it bluntly, it was as if the sea could accommodate all kinds of power of laws and could be said to be a hodgepodge. But the problem was that he did not specialize in the misfortune law. Why did the misfortune law find him instead? Looking at the misfortune law coiling around his body, he was unable to expel it. Wu Ho's face became extremely ugly, with the misfortune law coiling around his body. If he dared to continue breaking through to the next realm, an accident would definitely happen. He understood this very well, because he had once met a guy who cultivated the misfortune law. His cultivation was obviously weak, but he cultivated the misfortune law like a fish in water. This also led to anyone who wanted to kill him. Basically, they would be plagued with misfortune. This kind of person, even if they were weak, he would always stay away from them. Because this was a man who brought misfortune, no one who followed him had a good ending. Similarly, those who were unfavorable to him also did not have a good ending. They would always be plagued with misfortune. But the problem was, he had never offended anyone who cultivated the misfortune law. There were too few people who cultivated the misfortune law. It was even rarer than Jizun. Could it be that someone used the misfortune talisman against him? Thinking of this, Wu Ho's face sunk. He felt that this was the most likely possibility. The misfortune talisman paper was very popular in the talisman paper market. Especially high-grade talisman papers, they were very popular in the market. These talisman papers were refined by powerhouses, and the market was huge. After taking a deep breath, Wu Ho tried to deduce the person who used the power of laws. Unfortunately, the result was that there was no way to deduce. This was also within his expectations. To use such a thing to cause him to be unable to break through, it must be someone who was not as strong as him. If they were stronger than him, they would not have gone to such great lengths to let him break through. I don't believe that your misfortune talisman paper can last for long. At most, I will wait for the misfortune talisman paper to lose its effect. Then I will attack the extreme realm. After sneering, Wu Ho sat down cross-legged and continued to adjust his state. Moreover, he was still adjusting the power of laws in his body at all times. He was trying to expel the misfortune law from his body. But right at this moment, Wu Ho was shocked to discover, outside the cave, there were already close to 1,000 heaven's prides gathered around. What the F***CK? What the hell was going on? He used a high-grade rank 5 aura concealing talisman paper. How did these heaven's prides find him? For a moment, Wu Ho began to panic. Chapter 843. Especially when he saw, outside the cave, after thousands of geniuses had gathered, even Wu Ho could not help but feel his scalp tingle. Because these thousands of geniuses had reached the 9th heaven of the Emperor God realm. This simply made him puzzled. How did they get exposed? Could this be the power of the misfortune talisman? At this point, Wu Ho's expression was extremely ugly. At the same time, at this moment, outside the cave, thousands of geniuses had already gathered nearby. Moreover, there were still geniuses gathering from all directions. Seeing this, even Wang Mang, who was hiding in the dark, could not help but feel his scalp tingle. Was this the power of a peak rank 5 misfortune card? Wasn't this a bit too powerful? One must know that when Wu Ho was preparing to break through to the extreme realm, the number of geniuses who wanted to stop Wu Ho was far from this number. If this was not the effect of the peak misfortune card, Wang Mang would definitely not believe it. At the same time, Wang Mang also saw it. At this moment, Luo, Tianxing, and the other geniuses who were guarding outside the cave were so scared that their faces were pale and they were trembling. What the hell was going on? They had used the Aurican sealing talisman. How did these guys find their way here? The key was that it was one or two of them, but thousands of geniuses with ninth heaven of the Emperor God realm had found their way here. This was simply trying to kill them. How could they protect them? Could they protect them? The next moment, the group of geniuses seemed to have reached a consensus and attacked one after another. Thousands of geniuses attacked one after another, displaying their terrifying divine abilities. The overwhelming mystical powers surged toward Qin Nan with a force that could topple the mountains and overturn the seas. This scene simply changed the color of heaven and earth, because too many geniuses had attacked. Moreover, they were not weak themselves. How weak could a ninth heaven of the Emperor God realm be? But if they led the alliance to attack? Naturally, they did not want to see someone break through to the extreme realm. Obviously, everyone was worried that they would be taken advantage of. Once this guy broke through to the extreme realm, he would be a threat to them. Now that they knew about the Nightmare Alliance, they did not mind attacking together. Completely destroy the Nightmare Alliance. At the same time, seeing the overwhelming number of prodigies casting their divine powers at the same time, Luo, Tianxing, and the other 4 from the Nightmare Alliance were so scared that their faces turned pale. They ran away without hesitation. As for Big Brother, I hope Big Brother can survive this. In such a situation, they still dared to go against so many Sky Prides. They were simply courting death. They had never heard of a prodigy being able to fight against 1,000 people at the same level. Not even invincible supremes. What more them? Obviously, they still had this bit of self-awareness. Therefore, they naturally gave up on Wu Ho without hesitation, because they had no choice. If they did not give up Wu Ho, fighting against thousands of geniuses of the same level, their fate was death. He couldn't even withstand a single blow. Therefore, each of the 5 from the Dream Sun Alliance ran faster than the other. The next moment, a deafening explosion rang out. The terrifying divine ability instantly drowned the entire mountain range. Seeing this scene, not only did Wang Mang's scalp go numb, even Hua Yunfei's scalp went numb. F***CK. Was this the battle power of thousands of geniuses with the battle power of ninth heaven god Emperor, directly raising the mountain range to the ground? The terrifying divine ability caused the space to distort. One had to know that the space enchantment here was very sturdy. But under the joint attack of thousands of ninth heaven god emperors, even the space was distorted. One could imagine how terrifying the power was. Under such power, not to mention Hua Yunfei, even if it was Wang Mang, he felt that he would instantly die. After the terrifying smoke and dust dispersed, Wang Mang and the group of Sky Prides also stared at the mountain range that had turned into dust and ruins. He wanted to see if Wu Ho had died or not, but Wang Mang felt that he should have died. Thousands of Sky Prides used their divine ability at the same time. Even if one had an invincible physical body divine ability of the same level, he would still be instantly destroyed, because Wang Mang knew that even if it was a peak physical body divine ability of the same level, there's also a limit to the pressure he could withstand. Therefore, whatever invincible physical body divine ability, in front of absolute power, they were all paper tigers. After a few incense sticks worth of time, after the dust and ruins dispersed, Wang Mang saw that even the ground had been blasted open, creating a pit that was tens of thousands of meters deep. At the bottom of the deep pit, there was nothing at all. There were only endless ruins. Looking at this situation, Wang Mang was sure that this so-called Wu Ho was definitely dead. Similarly, the other Sky Prides also laughed when they saw this scene. After that, these Sky Prides left in groups of 3 to 5. At this time, Hui Yunfei also came to Wang Mang's side excitedly and said, "Brother Wang Mang, now we can sit back and relax. We finally killed this guy. You might not believe it. When I spread the news of Wu Ho's breakthrough, these guys all flocked over. Obviously, summoning thousands of Sky Prides with the same battle power made his blood boil. Unfortunately, this group of Sky Prides came and left quickly, so he didn't feel good for long." Hearing this, Wang Mang nodded and said happily, "That's right. Now, no one can threaten us." Yes, now that Wu Ho was dead, Wang Mang was naturally in a good mood. He still wanted to harvest the Sky Prides, so naturally, he wouldn't allow anyone to harvest him. This Wu Ho was an uncertain factor, but now this uncertainty was completely gone. But just as Wang Mang and Hui Yunfei were about to leave, suddenly, Wang Mang and Hui Yunfei saw the 5 members of the Nightmare Alliance who had left and returned. Yes, there were originally 6 of them, but their boss was dead, so naturally there were only 5 of them. When they saw the ruins of the mountain range, whether it was Luo Tianqing or the other members of the Nightmare Alliance, they were all stunned. They could feel that there was no trace of Wu Ho's life force here. Moreover, as they deduced, they immediately discovered that Wu Ho was dead. For a moment, the 5 people's faces were extremely ugly, and they were somewhat at a loss. Is Big Brother already dead? I'm afraid it's not good. Sai, what the hell is going on? Yes, not only our whereabouts were exposed, but we also attracted thousands of Sky Prides. If we didn't run fast just now, I'm afraid we would have died together with Big Brother. Luo Tianqing, you are simply heartless. You were the fastest to run just now. You have the nerve to talk about me? You were the one who suggested to run, right? Chapter 844. At this moment, the 5 members of the Nightmare Alliance who were at a loss suddenly started arguing. They argued until their faces turned red and they began to blame each other. Because Wu Ho was finished, their big hunting plan could not be carried out at all. Because without the battle prowess of the 1st level of the Supreme Realm, how could they hunt these prowess of the 9th level of the Supreme God Realm? With the same level of battle prowess, how could they hunt these guys? This was just like Wang Mang. Even if there were only 5 people left in the Nightmare Alliance, he still couldn't take down these 5 guys. These 5 guys could become members of the Nightmare Alliance. Of course, they were not rookies. All of them had the qualifications to become legendary prowess. It could be said that, like Wang Mang and Hui Yunfei, it was only a matter of time before they became legendary. Of course, the premise was that they were not harvested by the other prowess. This was the path of war in the heavens and realms. There was no seniority here. There was only the absolute winner. It was cruel to the extreme. After all, the prerequisite to becoming an invincible supreme being was to devour countless prowess. It was true that a general success was built on thousands of bones. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang thought for a while and made a decision in his heart. Kill a prowess first. Thinking of this, Wang Mang immediately decided to activate the God-killing cannon in his hand. He immediately aimed the cannon at the 5 people who were quarreling. If he was lucky, he might really be able to kill the 5 of them. Of course, Wang Mang knew that it would depend on luck. Originally, he had prepared this thing for Wu Ho. In the end, Wu Ho was already dead. This cannon should be given to the Nightmare Alliance. Thinking of this, Wang Mang immediately poured the power of law into the God-killing cannon. Bang! Accompanied by a loud noise. This terrifying laser-like artillery shell whistled out like a dragon's roar. It was so fast that no one had time to react. When Luo Tianqing and the other alliance members reacted, they looked at the incoming artillery shells in horror and roared angrily. What's wrong? No. Who is it? It's a sneak attack. As they roared, they hurriedly mobilized the power of law. wanting to block the cannon. But after a few screams, the cannon exploded and drowned the 5 of them. After the frightening aftershock dissipated, Wang Mang saw that 3 of the geniuses had been killed on the spot. Not even their ashes were left. The remaining Luo, Tianqing, and the other heaven's favorite were left with only half of their bodies. They struggled in the ruins in pain. They were trying their best to control the nomological power to restore themselves, but the destructive nomological power of the cannonball was interfering with their recovery. As a result, their recovery was extremely slow. Even the remnants of their bodies were approaching them at an extremely slow speed. At the same time, Hua Yunfei was even more shocked. As expected, Big Brother is Big Brother. Damn it, this method was too terrifying. A single shot had killed 3 sky prides of the same level. The other 2 were also seriously injured. Just as Hua Yunfei was in shock, Wang Mang moved and appeared in front of Luo Tianqing and the other member of the Nightmare Alliance in the blink of an eye. The reason why he was not in a hurry to make a move was because these 2 fellows were already heavily injured. It was so difficult for them to even restore their fleshy bodies. One could imagine how serious their injuries were. This god-killing cannon was indeed a god-killing cannon. One could only dodge it and not receive it head-on. Furthermore, the power of this toy was extremely strange. The middle-stage god-killing cannon could only kill existences with the strength of a middle-stage god-emperor. The late-stage god-killing cannon could still kill existences with the strength of a late-stage god-emperor. That time when he used the middle-stage god-killing cannon to kill Ancestral Gragon for the first time. If not for Ancestral Gragon forcefully increasing his strength to the late-stage god-emperor, he would have died on the spot. Now, the power of this late-stage god-emperor god-killing cannon was an eye-opener for Wang Mang. It was simply a savage explosion. At the same time, after seeing Wang Mang, Luo Tianqing and the other Nightmare Alliance Sky Prides turned pale. Their faces were filled with shock and anger. It's you. Damn it. It must be you who sneak attacked us, right? It must be you who lured those Sky Prides over and killed our big brother Wu Ho. And now you dare to sneak attack our Nightmare Alliance. Hearing this, Wang Mang's expression remained calm as he chuckled. That's right, it's me. Are you surprised? Are you surprised? Of course, it's all thanks to you, Luo Tianqing. If not for you telling me that someone from your Nightmare Alliance is about to break through to the extreme realm, I wouldn't have acted so urgently. After hearing Wang Mang's words, the originally pale and heavily injured Luo Tianqing widened his eyes in anger. He had never thought that his threat to Wang Mang would cause the death of their big brother when he was breaking through to the extreme realm. And now, their Nightmare Alliance was in tatters. Even they were heavily injured and on the verge of death. You deserve to die. Luo Tianqing spat out blood in exasperation. Similarly, the other Nightmare Alliance Sky Prides looked at Luo Tianqing with a gloomy expression. If he had known that the main culprit was Luo Tianqing, he would have definitely told Wu Ho to kill Luo Tianqing first. This dog was simply incapable of accomplishing anything. Wang Mang, just you wait. You and I won't rest until one of us is dead. At this moment, Luo Tianqing couldn't help but roar in anger. Hearing that, Wang Mang suddenly laughed. This silly child hasn't woken up yet, and he's still thinking about a future? Just as Wang Mang was about to speak, Hua Yunfei, who flew over from afar, laughed. Fool, you're still thinking about a future? You'd better think about how to survive today. After hearing Hua Yunfei's words, the originally furious Luo Tianqing immediately sobered up. After thinking about his current situation, he couldn't help but break out in cold sweat. Then, Luo Tianqing looked up at Wang Mang and said in a fawning tone, "Fellow cultivator, can you let me go?" Hearing that, Wang Mang suddenly grinned and said, "Take a guess. Forget it. I can't let you go, but I can still send you on your way." After saying that, Wang Mang's upper body transformed into the body of a giant python. He swallowed Luo Tianqing and the other genius into his bloody mouth. At the same time, The system's voice sounded frowny-faced. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully swallowed a fourth Heaven Divine Lord, a legendary genius. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 400 million energy points. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 10 talent points. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully swallowed a fourth Heaven Divine Lord, a legendary genius. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 400 million energy points. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 10 talent points. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully completed the mission of destroying the Nightmare Alliance. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 80 billion energy points. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained an Immortal King level blind box X1. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained an Immortal King level treasure box X1. Chapter 845. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was elated. Good. Now that he had arrived at the third city, he had already completed 2 of the 3 missions. Now, there was only 1 mission left, but Wang Mang was confident that after he sorted out his gains, he could really complete a magnificent transformation. Don't forget, he had already completed 2 missions. There were quite a few boxes. Furthermore, there was a random lottery chance. 6 taste Emperor Pill could increase his strength. Other than that, he could also become a legendary genius. This was not even considered his evolution, just this series of dazzling operations. It was enough for Wang Mang to complete the transformation from void to reality. It was also possible for him to break through to the extreme realm. Once he broke through to the extreme realm, then the thousands of geniuses outside the 4th city would become his prey. He might even become a supreme in one go. 3,000 geniuses, and there were quite a few legendary geniuses here. This was also the reason why Wang Mang was so confident, because as long as he killed this batch of geniuses, then he could really kill his way into the supreme realm, even if by then he was still lacking in talent. He could also rely on the spatial teleportation door of the 3rd city to head to the other 3rd cities and continue hunting geniuses who had not reached the extreme realm. Clearly, to the other geniuses, reaching the extreme realm was an insurmountable gap. Wang Mang had hunted geniuses for so long, and most of them were at the middle stage God Emperor realm. With the support of the geniuses, they could reach the late stage God Emperor realm. Cultivators like Wu Ho were pitifully few in number. Seems like I'm not far from reaching the extreme realm. At this moment, with his good mood, Wang Mang could not help but sigh with emotion. Hearing this, Hua Yunfei, who was originally dissatisfied with Wang Mang, was stunned. Good lord, Wang Mang was going to break through to the extreme realm? If he was going to break through to the extreme realm, wouldn't he be able to kill a large number of geniuses at will? By then, no matter how many geniuses Wang Mang hunted, he would at least get a share of the soup, right? Thinking of this, Hua Yunfei's dissatisfaction with Wang Mang for not giving him one of the geniuses immediately disappeared. At the same time, Hua Yunfei asked enthusiastically, "Brother Wang Mang, are you confident?" Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately stood with his hands behind his back and chuckled. If nothing unexpected happens, I should be able to break through to the Lameter realm. Just wait for me outside the city. I'll come after I break through. Hearing that, Hua Yunfei replied enthusiastically, "Then I will wait for your good news, Brother Wang Mang." After saying that, Hua Yunfei turned around and flew towards the mountain range in the distance. Of course, Hua Yunfei was a little unhappy in his heart. Because Wang Mang wanted to break through to the next realm, he was actually transferred away. He obviously didn't trust his brother. Of course, he was only complaining in his heart. As for falling out with Wang Mang, that was unlikely. As long as there were benefits, there was no way he would turn hostile. It was impossible for him to fall out with her in this lifetime. At the same time, after seeing Hua Yunfei leave, Wang Mang then flew towards the depths of the great wilderness forest in the distance. As for trusting Hua Yunfei, how was that possible? Who had he trusted? He had never trusted anyone. Moreover, after seeing Wu Ho's miserable state, Wang Mang was even less likely to trust others. Didn't he see Luo, Tiansheng, and the other members of the Nightmare Alliance? When they were in danger, they immediately betrayed their brother. Although the culprit of all this had an inexplicable relationship with him. But Wang Mang naturally wouldn't let others betray him, because only he would betray others. He would never let others betray him. He wouldn't even give him the chance to be betrayed. Only I can betray others. I will never let others betray me. 2 hours later, Wang Mang finally found a desolate mountain range. Then, he found an excellent cave for seclusion. Then, Wang Mang set up a space enchantment and entered the cave. After arriving at the cave, Wang Mang sat cross-legged, and at the same time, he couldn't wait to chant in his heart, "System, open my personal information." The next moment, personal information appeared in front of him. Wang Mang, sage to be disciple, 1,000 devil-old ancestor. Type, ancient demonic python. Limit 800 meters. Realm, second heaven of Emperor God, legendary heaven's pride. Body, HP 35,000. Length 770 meters, width 37 meters, weight 160 million tons. Top sacred arts, ancient demon tyrant body, perfection. Swallowing yuan devouring God art, perfection. 3 live supreme Buddha, mastery. Wrath of God and devil, perfection. Space, 1 bottle of forgotten love water, 1 falling saint pill, 1 6 flavor emperor pill, falling god cannon 2, free evolution opportunity x1. Equipment, top world multicolored stone x1, divine martial sword, supreme mask, aptitude 2000 of 1500, can be upgraded to legendary heaven's pride. Immortal king treasure chest x2, immortal king blind box x2. Energy value, 123. 6 billion / 230 billion. After reading his personal information, Wang Mang could not help but laugh maniacally. That was because he had accumulated too much now. 4 treasure chests, 6 flavor emperor pill, free evolution opportunity x1. He could be promoted to legendary heaven's pride. In addition, he could at least evolve once. In other words, after digesting these massive benefits this time, he could at least increase his cultivation by 4 small realms. At that time, he would most likely reach the heavens in 1 step. His combat strength would definitely break through to the supreme realm. Thinking of this, Wang Mang could not help but feel high-spirited. After digesting this wave, he would also digest the close to 3,000 heavens prides outside the 4th city. Then, he would be really close to becoming a supreme. Thinking of this, Wang Mang suddenly said excitedly in his heart, "System, open the immortal king treasure chest." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully opened the immortal king treasure chest." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 100 million energy value." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 1.5 billion energy value." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 2 billion energy value." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 3 billion energy value." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained an immortal emperor level yellow cow demon." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained an immortal emperor level yellow cow demon." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained an immortal emperor level fairy lingerie." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a furnace of 4th stage immortal pills." After listening to the system's announcement, Wang Mang was stunned for a moment. Then his face was filled with helplessness. He did not even get 10 billion energy value. This immortal king treasure chest. As expected, it was as lame as ever. It was so F*** king lame. For a moment, Wang Mang was extremely depressed. Then, after adjusting his emotions for a while, Wang Mang gritted his teeth and said, "System, open the Immortal King treasure chest again." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully opened the Immortal King treasure chest." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 2 billion energy value." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 3 billion energy value." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 5 billion energy value." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 10 billion energy value." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained an ultimate Godzilla." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained an immortal Pan Jean Lien lingerie." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 100 billion. Chapter 846. Ding. "Congratulations, host. You've successfully obtained 100 billion US dollars. Ding. "Congratulations, host. You've successfully obtained a one-off 5th stage top-notch good luck card X1. After listening to the system's announcement, Wang Mang was dumbfounded. Good heavens, 100 billion US dollars so easily. It even made his blood boil. In the end, he was given so much money. How was he supposed to spend it? He wasn't a godly rich system type person. If he really wanted to be a godly rich system type person, he would definitely be overjoyed to obtain so much money. Fortunately, what made Wang Mang heave a sigh of relief was, fortunately, he got something good in the end. A one-off 5th stage top-notch good luck card. This thing, how powerful was it? Wang Mang had a deep understanding of it. Moreover, he still had 2 blind boxes that he had not opened. It was no exaggeration to say that he had already seen 200 billion US dollars. Don't ask Wang Mang why he was confident. It was because the 5th stage top-notch good luck card was awesome. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's depressed mood was swept away. Then, Wang Mang did not hesitate to say in his heart, "System, using a one-off 5th stage top-notch good luck card." The next moment, the system's voice sounded, "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully used a one-off 5th stage top-notch good luck card." Ding. After using it, the host will have good luck in the next 24 hours. If it's light, the host will have good luck. If it's heavy, the host will have good luck. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang then waited happily. After an hour, he could start to open the Immortal King level blind box. At that time, with the power of the Immortal King level blind box, it would definitely be easy to obtain a huge amount of energy value. It would definitely be easy to evolve once. Wang Mang firmly believed this. An hour later, after Wang Mang felt that it was about time, he did not hesitate to say in his heart, "System, open the Immortal King level blind box." The next moment, the system's voice sounded again, "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully opened the Immortal King level blind box." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 10 billion energy points." That's right. That's right. This was a good sign. As expected, using a top-notch tier 5 good luck card was indeed different. After hearing the system's announcement, Wang Mang was in a good mood. 1 minute later, the system's voice sounded for the second time, frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 20 billion energy points." Sure, very powerful. Wang Mang nodded. Then, he continued to look forward to the next prize. Another minute passed. The system's voice sounded for the third time, frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 25 billion energy values." BF*CK? Who are you insulting? If you have the ability to draw the next prize, all 25 billion energy values. Wang Mang was speechless. 1 minute later, the system's voice sounded for the fourth time, frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 30 billion energy values." Not bad, not bad. Just like that, he gained 85 billion energy points. As expected, having a top-notch tier 5 good luck card and not having one were 2 completely different concepts. This felt like opening a bronze blind box. The difference was the same as opening a diamond blind box. While Wang Mang was in a good mood, another minute passed quickly. The system's voice sounded for the 5th time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 35 billion energy values. Awesome, awesome. Because until now, the Immortal King level blind box had been opened 5 times. He had already obtained 120 billion energy values. Compared to the previous 2 Immortal King level treasure chests, he had obtained less than 30 billion energy values. The difference was obvious at a glance. Thinking of this, Wang Mang immediately began to look forward to the next prize. Soon, another minute had passed. The system's voice sounded for the 6th time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 100 pieces of the Immortal Emperor-level Elf Queen's original underwear. Good heavens! With the support of a top-notch tier 5 good luck card, the underwear series started from 100 pieces. This was too damn generous. The problem was that this was not what he needed. Wang Mang complained helplessly. A minute passed quickly. The system's voice sounded for the 6th time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a piece of original underwear from the Goddess of Luck. Note: after wearing it, you can obtain a certain amount of luck from the Goddess of Luck. Good heavens! Was this asking him to wear a female outfit? Wearing a female outfit would increase his luck. This was too much. For a moment, Wang Mang was dumbfounded. He didn't even know what to say. Of course, it was impossible for him to wear a female outfit. Moreover, he had the support of a top-notch tier 5 good luck card. There was no need to worry at all. Thinking of this, Wang Mang continued to wait for the prize to be opened. Another minute later, the system's voice sounded for the 7th time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a top-notch tier 5 tracking talisman. This tracking talisman was not bad. When Wang Mang wanted to buy this thing back then, the system had ruthlessly ripped him off and sold him 5 billion. Otherwise, he would not have been able to find the hiding place of Wu Ho's breakthrough. Although he had obtained a top-notch tier 5 tracking talisman, Wang Mang was not happy. Because ultimately what he needed was energy points. Could it be that an Immortal King level blind box had 120 billion energy points as its limit? Obviously, Wang Mang was greedy and was not satisfied with 120 billion energy points. Just as Wang Mang was feeling gloomy, the system's voice sounded for the 8th time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a top-notch tier 4 immortal fruit wine. After listening to the system's announcement, Wang Mang suddenly wanted to hit someone. Damn it, it really stopped at 120 billion, including his current energy points. Wang Mang's accumulated energy field was only 270 billion. He was still 30 billion energy points away from evolution. Hopefully, the last Immortal King level blind box could break through the new high. Wang Mang muttered in his heart. Then, Wang Mang immediately adjusted his mentality and immediately said in his heart, "System, continue to open the Immortal King level blind box." The next moment, the system's voice sounded again, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully opened the Immortal King level blind box. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 100 million energy points. What the hell? What the hell? Damn it, did I hear it wrong? Brother, don't mess with me. I'm blessed by Providence now. How could you open up an unprecedented 100 million energy value? To be honest, at this moment, Wang Mang was doubting life. He had never encountered such a situation before. This was definitely refreshing his understanding, because even without the blessing of the luck card, it was impossible for him to obtain such a low amount of energy points. Just as Wang Mang was about to break down Wang Mang, the system's voice sounded for the 2nd time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 50 million energy points. F*CK your sister. 50 million energy points were here. This number was definitely unprecedented for Wang Mang. He had definitely not obtained such a low amount of energy points. The announcement of the prize this time, it refreshed his understanding once again. It also made Wang Mang's hopes of getting lucky completely disappear. All of a sudden, Wang Mang even began to suspect that this was an Immortal King level blind box. Could it not be that it could not even gather enough energy points for his evolution? Just as Wang Mang was doubting life, another minute passed. The system's voice sounded for the third time, frowny-faced ding. Congratulations, host. Obtain 9 billion. Chapter 847. The system's voice sounded for the third time, frowny-faced ding. Congratulations, host. You've obtained 9 billion energy points. Damn. I thought it was 9 million energy points. I didn't expect it to be 100 billion energy points. All of a sudden, Wang Mang was completely dumbfounded. This was the first time he had seen such a situation. Was this what it meant to be suppressed first and then raised? Yes. Very yes. Awesome. Very awesome. At this moment, Wang Mang's mood immediately turned from gloomy to sunny. His face was brimming with smiles. It was as if the person who had lost his composure and cursed earlier was not him at all. Not bad. Not bad at all. 3 draws, and it's as high as 100 billion energy points. System. Shouldn't we round it up with another 8 billion? Wang Mang was in a good mood. The system's voice sounded for the 4th time, frowny-faced ding. Congratulations, host. You've successfully obtained 8 billion energy points. What the hell? It's really 8 billion energy points? What the hell is this feeling? It's like a dream. For a moment, Wang Mang was completely dumbfounded. He was actually just thinking about it earlier, but he never thought that it would really satisfy him this time. For a moment, Wang Mang couldn't help but feel happy. At the same time, his mood became even happier. System, if you have the ability, give me 8 billion or 9 billion again. Wang Mang immediately muttered again. Obviously, the previous draw had come true. This made Wang Mang couldn't help but say a few more words. What if Daddy's system heard it and satisfied him? Just as Wang Mang was looking forward to it. A minute passed. The system's voice sounded for the 5th time, frowny-faced ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully gained 8 billion Q coins. What a guy. I'm F** king straight up. It really came in at 8 billion. However, the 8 billion yuan was a little special. It turned out to be the virtual currency of the old Earth. In short, what's the use of it? For a moment, Wang Mang was so depressed that he couldn't say anything. It must be because he did not add the words energy value unit earlier. The system had misunderstood. That must be it. Thinking up to this point, Wang Mang immediately shouted in his heart, "Don't worry. System Daddy, what I want is energy value. Give me energy value." Another minute passed. The system's voice sounded for the 5th time, frowny-faced ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 9 billion happy beans. Happy bean? What's this for? Are you asking me to play Fight the Landlord? F***CK, your grandpa. You can't play with me like this. At this moment, Wang Mang was on the verge of exploding. There was no other reason. The quantity was the same. It was just that the units at the back were different. If the units at the back were all energy values, then Wang Mang would definitely make a killing. The problem was that these units weren't. Even the damn happy beans were here. Just as Wang Mang was speechless, the system's voice sounded for the 6th time, frowny-faced ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 8 billion tons of silver. Damn. Again? Wang Mang started to doubt his life again. Last time it was 9 billion. This time it was 8 billion. He really got it right? For a moment, Wang Mang felt that the system was full of malice towards him. The system definitely did it on purpose. Just as Wang Mang was crazily complaining in his heart, the system's voice sounded for the 7th time, frowny-faced ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 8 billion energy value. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang finally heaved a sigh of relief. It was finally normal. although the energy value was a little less. It was good that it was normal. It would give him 100 billion yuan so easily. Wang Mang really couldn't take it. It would be fine if it was all energy value. The key was not the energy value. Just as Wang Mang was feeling depressed, the system's voice sounded for the 8th time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 888 million yuan. After listening to the system's announcement, Wang Mang really felt a little helpless. This blind box only gave him 110 billion energy value, including the 270 billion energy value that he had accumulated. It only added up to 380 billion energy value. Now that Wang Mang had accumulated enough energy value, it was indeed enough for evolution. But after evolution, the remaining energy value was definitely not much. To Wang Mang, this was only a little gratifying. As for how happy he was, it was not necessarily true. If he didn't have a one-time top-notch rank 5 good luck card, with so much energy value, Wang Mang would definitely be overjoyed. The problem was that he had a top-notch rank 5 good luck card and only obtained this amount of energy value. To be honest, it was only considered average. After adjusting his mood for a while, Wang Mang then silently said in his heart, "System, begin the evolution. System, use the free evolution opportunity." As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Mang took out something from the storage space. It was a perfectly round 6-flavor emperor pill that was like a golden pill. Then, Wang Mang swallowed the pill without hesitation. The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny face ding. 250 billion energy value has been successfully deducted. Beginning the evolution, ding. Free evolution opportunity has been successfully used. Beginning the evolution, ding. Successfully consumed the 6-flavor emperor pill. Beginning the evolution. After that, Wang Mang completely lost consciousness in the process of evolving. Moreover, Wang Mang's evolution time this time was very long. This was because he couldn't wait to break through to the ultimate state. Therefore, for this evolution, he was prepared to use all his resources, including the free evolution opportunity and the 6-flavor emperor pill, all to break through to the ultimate state. Wang Mang was immersed in the evolution process. Half a month later, outside the 4th city, something big happened. There were prodigies outside the 4th city. They discovered the tomb of an invincible supreme in the great wilderness forest. This instantly caused the prodigies outside the 4th city to go completely crazy. In fact, many prodigies rushed in crazily. There was no other reason. These people wanted to find the secret to becoming a supreme. This was because not everyone could become a supreme martial artist. Even if they had enough talent value, they still couldn't become a supreme. This was because one had to meet certain conditions to become a supreme. This was also the reason, after the tomb of an invincible supreme appeared, it would attract so many prodigies to swarm over. Of course, Wang Mang didn't know all of this. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. In the cave, only then did Wang Mang slowly awaken from his evolution. At the same time, if someone observed carefully, they would discover Wang Mang's aura had become even more terrifying. The power of the laws around him had become even stronger. This power surpassed the fighting power of a 9th heaven god emperor. This power had reached the legendary ultimate state. Yes, Wang Mang had successfully broken through to the 9th heaven god emperor level. Now he had reached the 1st heaven of the ultimate state. At this moment, he could feel that he was unprecedentedly strong. This power was simply 10 times stronger than the 9th heaven god emperor level. However, all of this wasn't over yet. Although his fighting power had reached the 1st heaven of the ultimate state, don't forget, he could advance to the level of a legendary prodigy. At that time, his fighting power would reach the 2nd heaven of the ultimate state. He carefully felt the huge and terrifying power in his body. Wang Mang's face was filled with joy and excitement. This feeling of being invincible. It was simply unprecedentedly good. In fact, even Wang Mang himself didn't know. Now, who else could be his opponent? Who else could compete with him? What? 3,000 prodigies? They were nothing. All of them were pigs. Kill them all. Chapter 848. This was not Wang Mang bragging. He had already reached the pinnacle of the realm, slaughtering these geniuses of the ninth heaven of the Emperor God realm. It was really fine as long as he had hands. There was nothing wrong with killing indiscriminately, because the geniuses of the ninth heaven of the Emperor God realm. At this moment, in Wang Mang's eyes, they were too small. He was just like a F** king pig. Close to 3,000 geniuses were all lambs waiting to be slaughtered in Wang Mang's eyes. After coming back to his senses, Wang Mang could not help but size up his body happily. His body was already indistinguishable from the power of law. Compared to the body before evolution, it was more suitable to accommodate the power of law. After taking a deep breath, Wang Mang said in a good mood, "System, open my personal information." He was ready to open it and see how much evolution points he needed. At the same time, he could also predict if he could evolve again after killing nearly 3,000 geniuses. The next moment, personal information appeared in front of him. Wang Mang, disciple of a quasi-sage, ancestor of myriad devil, type, ancient fiendish python, limit 800 meters, realm, fifth heaven of the Emperor God realm, legendary genius, body shape, HP 38,000, length 800 meters, width 38 meters, weight 190 million tons. Top divine ability, ancient fiend tyrant body, perfection, swallowing yuan devouring god art, perfection, 3 lives supreme Buddha, mastery, wrath of the gods and devils, perfection. Space, 1 bottle of forgotten love water, rank 5 top, tracking talisman X1. Equipment, supreme mask, talent 2,000 of 1,500, can be upgraded to a legendary genius. Energy value, 235 billion. Already useless items have been converted into energy value, /350 billion. After reading his personal information, Wang Mang was surprised to find out it did not seem to be much energy value, including the remaining energy value he had left. He only needed to get more than 100 billion energy value. At that time, if he wanted to evolve again, it would be completely easy. For a moment, Wang Mang's mood became even better. Right now, he was an invincible existence when he came out of seclusion. There was no one here who could compete with him. Thinking of this, in a happy mood, Wang Mang immediately stood up and walked out of the cave. Then, Wang Mang waved his hand, and a terrifying power of law swept out. Wang Mang easily blasted open the enchantment that he had set up before he went into seclusion. Furthermore, the terrifying aftershock spread to the surrounding heaven and earth. This immediately caused the wind and clouds to change color, and a fierce gale rose in all directions. Seeing this, Wang Mang nodded in satisfaction. After that, Wang Mang soared into the sky and flew towards the city road in the distance. Moreover, Wang Mang's speed could be said to be extremely fast, in less than the time it took for an incense stick to burn. Wang Mang had already arrived at the 4th city gate. However, Wang Mang's arrival also frightened many of the geniuses, causing them to panic. That was because the terrifying aura emanating from Wang Mang's body was too powerful. It could be said that after he sensed Wang Mang's aura, he was shocked. The hundreds of geniuses in the vicinity all hid in the city. At the same time, this group of geniuses also looked at Wang Mang in bewilderment. Their eyes were filled with fear and dread. The aura of a first heaven supreme realm expert was too easy to distinguish from the battle strength of a ninth heaven supreme god. It could be said that the two were not on the same level at all. How could it not be easy to distinguish? For a moment, this group of geniuses began to discuss. F***CK. When did another supreme realm expert appear? If I didn't react quickly, I'm afraid I would have been dead. That's right. Wuho was killed by us. How could someone break through to the supreme realm? Do you think this guy broke through because he gained a lot in the Invincible Supreme Tomb? Impossible. The Invincible Supreme Tomb has only been open for a few days. How could it be so fast? That's right. The Invincible Supreme Tomb has only been open for a short time. It's impossible for him to break through because he gained something in the invincible Supreme Tomb. Then it's very likely that this guy was also trying to break through to the Supreme Realm when Wuho broke through. Sigh. Everyone, be careful. Before this guy leaves, it's better not to go out easily. Do I need you to tell me that? I still want to live a little longer. It's just that the next few days will be a little uncomfortable. While everyone was discussing, Wang Mang naturally heard the discussion. Wang Mang, who had missed and was dumbfounded, suddenly had a thought. The invincible Supreme Tomb had appeared. This was the news that Wang Mang had heard from this group of people. But this news was not comprehensive. Thus, Wang Mang's body immediately moved. In the blink of an eye, he arrived at the third city gate. Then, he looked at the geniuses in the city and asked indifferently, "Where did the other geniuses go? Where's the Supreme Tomb that you mentioned just now?" Facing Wang Mang's high and mighty question, the geniuses present, although they were unhappy, no one dared to go against Wang Mang. However, the other geniuses were also very arrogant. Facing Wang Mang's question, most of them directly ignored it. "That's right. I can't beat you. So what? I won't come out, okay? If you have the ability, come to the city and kill me." This was the thought in the minds of many of the unhappy geniuses present. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang couldn't help but frown. These dogs simply don't know what's good for them. Damn it, I'm a supreme realm genius. Now you've offended me. You bunch of pigs will have a good life. Just when Wang Mang was unhappy, one of the prodigies suddenly spoke. "Fellow cultivator, these geniuses have all gone to participate in the invincible Supreme Tomb. There are too many geniuses participating in the invincible Supreme Tomb. You can say that. Except for the geniuses present, the rest of the geniuses have all rushed over." Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately nodded slowly. This was the invincible Supreme Tomb. To be honest, Wang Mang actually had some thoughts. But when he thought that he could break through to the legendary level at any time now, it was unlikely that this so-called invincible Supreme Tomb would have any resources to help him. After all, Wang Mang had participated in Jiangchen Supreme Tomb before. He didn't see anyone who participated in the tomb made a fortune. Because of this, Wang Mang didn't think that going to the Supreme Tomb would yield much. Of course, although he didn't know why these guys went to the Supreme Tomb, but this didn't stop Wang Mang from hunting them down. If these guys gathered outside the city gates, Wang Mang wouldn't be able to kill them. Because the situation wasn't right, they could plunge into the city at any time. But now most of the geniuses had gone to participate in the Supreme Tomb. This gave Wang Mang a chance to make a move. He could completely set up a barrier here. Then, he could chase them to the Supreme Tomb. Thinking of this, Wang Mang became even more excited. Then, Wang Mang raised his head to look at this prodigy and lightly smiled. "Fellow Taoist, can you show me the way?" Hearing this, the genius hurriedly shook his head and waved his hand. No, you should go find them yourself. It's easy to find them." The originally excited Wang Mang's face immediately darkened. What did this kid mean? He wasn't even willing to show him the way? Thinking of this, Wang Mang's face darkened. "Why won't you show me the way? Do you think I'm going to eat you?" Hearing this, the genius laughed bitterly. He was unwilling no matter what. Seeing this, Wang Mang was very unhappy, but he couldn't force it. Then, Wang Mang began to set up a barrier between the two city gates. 2 hours later, only then did Wang Mang stop, satisfied, because he had already set up 2 incomparably strong barriers at the 2 city gates. These 2 barriers were personally set up by him, spending several hours to set up. It wasn't something that geniuses with battle prowess of the 9th heaven of the Divine Emperor could break. Only geniuses with battle prowess of the same level could break his barriers. Moreover, the time spent was definitely not less than 2 hours. After doing all this, Wang Mang's face was full of joy as he flew towards the depths of the wasteland. At the sight of this, the numerous sky prides gathered at the city gate were all shocked, because they had already guessed what Wang Mang wanted to do. If nothing unexpected happened, these geniuses who were heading to the Supreme Tomb were definitely doomed. Chapter 849. At the thought of this, countless geniuses began to discuss. I'm sure that these geniuses are going to suffer. Isn't that obvious? Otherwise, why would he set up a barrier? Yeah, it seems that this guy wants to kill all the geniuses. Ha ha ha. What does it have to do with me? Fortunately, I didn't go to the Supreme Being's tomb. Ha ha. Can you guys not gloat at my misfortune? I hope they can leave. You guys only know how to gloat. Have you guys thought a problem? If these geniuses are all killed by him, how powerful will he be? What the F asterisk CK? Now that you mention it, I suddenly feel numb. It's not just numb. There are at least 2,000 geniuses heading to the Supreme Being's tomb. If these 2,000 geniuses all die in his hands, he will definitely be rich. Good fellow. Supreme Being's tomb? I finally understand. The death of these guys will pave the way for him to become a Supreme Being? Sigh. I hope this guy can leave after killing all the geniuses. Otherwise, if he blocks us, we'll be better off dead. All of a sudden, the surrounding geniuses were talking about all kinds of things, because they all knew that if nothing unexpected happened, Wang Meng's rise would be unstoppable. Moreover, it was very likely that he would rise to become a supreme being by stepping on the corpses of more than 2,000 geniuses, even if he couldn't become a supreme being immediately, in their opinion. By then, Wang Meng's accumulated foundation wouldn't be too far away. Thinking of this, countless geniuses were envious and jealous. At the same time, they also felt a sense of sympathy. At this moment, in the forest of the Dahuang mountain range, Wang Meng captured the lingering aura in the air. Then, he flew all the way to the depths of the Dahuang mountain range. Where did these piglets run off to? While flying, Wang Meng also scanned the Dahuang mountain range below and couldn't help but curse at the same time. These piglets, wouldn't it be better to wait for him to break through and then slaughter them? Fortunately, the footprints left by these geniuses in the space were too obvious. Therefore, Wang Meng easily followed the aura all the way to a strange lakeside. Why was the lakeside incomparably strange? This was because the lake water was golden in color. Not only that, Wang Meng could feel it. This was the lake water by the lake. It contained a terrifying power of law. It was much purer than the power of laws in the world. Other than that, Wang Meng also saw something not far away. There was a small mountain peak that looked like an ancient tomb. The entrance of the mountain peak was opposite the lakeside. As for the entrance of the ancient tomb, it was like an endless, pitch-black mouth. Moreover, Wang Meng could sense that the auras of these geniuses had disappeared at the entrance of the cave. This meant that the group of geniuses had most likely entered it. Thinking of this, Wang Meng couldn't help but laugh. After that, Wang Meng began to set up a barrier around the lakeside tomb. Moreover, this arrangement took half a month. This was because Wang Meng wasn't sure about these geniuses. If they collectively attacked the barrier, would they eventually succeed in breaking it? Therefore, he naturally had to set it up for a longer time and condense it until it was unbreakable. By then, none of these piglets would be able to escape. The inescapable trap was ready. Yes, he just had to wait for the prey to come to him. After setting up the barrier, Wang Meng sat cross-legged by the lakeside and waited patiently. In the blink of an eye, another week had passed. Wang Meng, who had been waiting for a long time, immediately sensed the commotion. In the next moment, Wang Meng saw that at the entrance of the ancient tomb, the geniuses were moving out like a hive of bees. A sea of geniuses escaped from the ancient tomb, cave one after another. Moreover, Wang Meng could vaguely hear the terrified voices of the geniuses. Run! Xiahou Yuan has already broken through to the extreme state. Damn it! This bastard actually broke through in the tomb. Run! Stop scolding. Otherwise, when Xiahou Yuan catches up, we won't be able to escape death. What's going on recently? Forget about Wu Ho's breakthrough. This guy has been accumulating for so long. Yeah, when did Xiahou Yuan accumulate such a strong foundation? This time, he actually broke through in the ancient tomb. After hearing the commotion of the geniuses, Wang Meng, who was sitting cross-legged by the golden lakeside, suddenly opened his sharp eyes. However, at this moment, Wang Meng's expression did not look too good. He really did not expect that there would be geniuses breaking through to the extreme state. However, this also made Wang Mang understand. These geniuses had accumulated quite a bit of foundation. It was normal for one or two of them to break through to the extreme state. Thinking of this, Wang Mang also felt relieved, and his expression returned to indifference and calmness. This was because he did not care about a first firmament of the extreme state at all. At the same time, when the sea of geniuses rushed out of the ancient tomb, they were all stunned. They naturally discovered the barrier that sealed the world around them. Moreover, what made them feel even more hopeless was that the thickness of the barrier here was 1 meter. F*CKU. Which dog is this? How could he be such a dog? He set up a 1 meter thick barrier outside. Is this something that a human can do? What made them feel even more hopeless was that this barrier was obviously not set up by a god emperor-level genius. They could clearly feel that the terrifying aura on the barrier had obviously reached the extreme state. In other words, there was an extreme state genius outside who had been waiting for them for almost a month. Otherwise, there was no way he could set up such a thick barrier. In an instant, countless geniuses looked at Wang Mang. When they felt that Wang Mang's extremely recognizable and terrifying aura was unique to extreme state geniuses, all the geniuses present were at a loss and completely panicked. F*CK. Someone broke through to the extreme state again? It's over. It's definitely over this time. Oh my God, why are you doing this to me? What did I do wrong? What should I do? Who can save me? I don't want to die yet. Why is it like this? If I knew this day would come, I wouldn't have come to the Supreme Tomb, even if I was beaten to death. There's a wolf in front and a tiger behind. I lost my mind. Why am I so unlucky? I've never won the stone gambling, and my bad luck has never stopped. I, Meower and Fong, have never done anything immoral other than peeping on my sister bathing. Why am I so unlucky? Am I not the chosen one? Why am I so unlucky? When I was born, the purple aura came from the east for 30,000 miles. Chapter 850. Purple chi from the east is nothing. When I was born, there was a phenomenon in the sky. Dragons flew and phoenixes danced. Thousands of immortals worshipped me. Stop bragging. Can you do it? How can you still be in a mood to brag at a time like this? In an instant, some prodigies cursed, while others tried to find joy in their misery. However, most of the prodigies had bitter expressions on their faces. After all, they were at a loss for what to do in the current situation. They did not know what to do. There was a wolf in front and a tiger behind. Two supreme states. It was simply despairing to the extreme. If there was no barrier outside, they would have successfully escaped from the Supreme Tomb. At the same time, looking at the group of prodigies who were at a loss for what to do, a smile appeared on Wang Mang's face as he slowly stood up. After that, Wang Mang's figure moved. He stepped into the air and arrived at the entrance of the ancient tomb. At that moment, prodigies were still pouring out of the ancient tomb. After these prodigies came out, they were naturally like the other prodigies. All of them were in despair, and their expressions could be said to have become extremely unsightly. Wang Mang did not care about that. It was better for them to be in despair. It was best for them to obediently give up resisting. After waiting for a few more incense sticks to burn, suddenly, a terrifying supreme state aura came out of the ancient tomb. This supreme state aura was comparable to Wang Mang's. In the next moment, a loud laugh was heard. All of you must die. As soon as he finished speaking, a red-robed figure instantly rushed out of the ancient tomb's entrance. Seeing this scene, the prodigies present were all delighted. If Xiahou Yuan fought with the supreme state prodigy in front of them, there was still a chance for them to sneak away, just as they were looking forward to it. Xiahou Yuan, who had already rushed out of the cave, stood proudly in the air with his hands behind his back. His waterfall-like long hair fluttered in the wind. However, at that moment, the smile on Xiahou Yuan's face had disappeared. His sharp eyes were fixed on Wang Mang. In an instant, Xiahou Yuan's expression changed. He did not expect there to be another supreme state prodigy. Moreover, this supreme state prodigy in front of him was even more ruthless. It was obvious that he had broken through to the supreme state before him. Moreover, he had set up such a terrifying barrier here. He wanted to catch them all in one fell swoop. Thinking of this, Xiahou Yuan had already made up his mind. Since the other party was already prepared, the barrier before them was also set up by the other party. In that case, he would share the prodigies with the other party. With this thought in mind, Xiahou Yuan asked with a relaxed expression, "How should I address you, fellow Taoist? Right now, there are only 2 limeters in this huge barrier. How about we split the geniuses equally?" Upon hearing this, the geniuses at the scene fell into despair. They did not expect Xiahou Yuan to be so cowardly as to want to split the spoils equally with the other party. They were planning to divide them up peacefully. Xiahou Yuan is also a Lemeter. Are you that afraid of him? That's right. Since you're both Lemeters, why don't you fight each other? Wouldn't it be better for the winner to become a paragon? That's right. There are more than 2,000 of us here. Which one of you can devour all of us by yourself? Are you still far from the Supremes? What a coward. Can someone like you become a supreme being? If it were me, I would have a match. The winner takes all, and the loser leaves. Coward. Even if someone like you reaches the Lemeter state, it's absolutely impossible for you to become a paragon. All of a sudden, the group of geniuses began to mock Xiahou Yuan. Hearing this, Xiahou Yuan's expression was particularly gloomy and ugly. So many people were scolding him, which made him want to kill them. Didn't he want to kill these prodigies by himself? But how could it be so easy to determine the victor between 2 people of the same level? Moreover, he had just broken through to the Lemeter state not long ago. He had no advantage over Wang Mang. Although he didn't think that he would lose to Wang Mang, it would be very difficult for him to defeat Wang Mang. As the saying went, one's aura determined one's strength. Wang Mang's aura was not inferior to his at all. In fact, Wang Mang's aura was even stronger than his. What could he use to defeat Wang Mang? After taking a deep breath, he turned a deaf ear to the words of these nobodies. Some fish on the chopping board wanted to affect his mood? After adjusting his state of mind, Xiahou Yuan looked straight at Wang Mang. However, Wang Mang suddenly smiled and said, "Are you worthy of being on the same level as me? I've been waiting here for a month, and I've been setting up the barrier for at least half a month. Just because you've just broken through to the Lemeter state, you want to share the prodigies with me?" After hearing Wang Mang's words, the prodigies, who were originally gloomy, all became excited. This was a real man. This was a real man. Obviously, Wang Mang's stubbornness was simply beyond their expectations. They originally thought that Wang Mang would agree to Xiahou Yuan's method of dividing the prodigies peacefully. However, Wang Mang's stubbornness and domineering attitude were completely beyond their expectations. All of a sudden, all the prodigies looked at Wang Mang and started to flatter him. "Xiahou Yuan, look at his domineering attitude and look at your cowardly attitude. Do you think you can become a supreme state?" That's right, I know this Xiahou Yuan. Before he reached the Lemeter state, he could be said to be greedy and afraid of death, forgetting righteousness at the sight of profit. How can Xiahou Yuan be compared to him? If he hadn't ambushed so many prodigies in the Supreme Tomb, how could he have broken through to the Lemeter state? After hearing everyone's insults, Xiahou Yuan, who was already furious, looked at Wang Mang with a gloomy face and said furiously, "What do you mean, fellow cultivator? Are you looking down on me? You and I are both at the first firmament of the Lemeter state. Do you think I'm half a level lower than you? Or do you think I'm easy to bully?" Looking at the furious Xiahou Yuan, the prodigies present became even more excited. Looking at the current situation, it was definitely going to be a fight. They had to add fuel to the fire, and add fuel to the fire. Are you worthy of being on the same level as him? That's right. Are you as strong as him? Xiahou Yuan, you can't beat him. Don't make a mistake. Xiahou Yuan, don't overestimate yourself. You can't beat him. That's right. Xiahou Yuan, you'd better back off obediently. Otherwise, you'll die. That's right. Although we're not at the Lemeter state, your aura is obviously much weaker than him. Xiahou Yuan was even more enraged after hearing what the group of Sky Prides said. He said with a cold expression, All of you ants, shut up. After saying that, Xiahou Yuan looked at Wang Mang and said coldly, "Seems like you look down on me very much, fellow cultivator. In that case, I'll have a good taste of your skills." Hearing that, Wang Mang stood with his hands behind his back and chuckled. "Fellow cultivator, don't misunderstand. I'm not targeting you, because in my eyes," said Qin Wentian, "everyone here is trash." Chapter 851. As soon as Wang Mang finished speaking, the entire place was completely silent. All of a sudden, all the prodigies present looked at Wang Mang. Their eyes were filled with anger. Wang Mang was too arrogant, although their strength was not on the same level as Wang Mang. But Wang Mang's attitude of looking down on everyone was infuriating. This made them very angry and insulted. Similarly, Xiahou Yuan was also infuriated. He had a cold smile on his face. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang felt that he was finally done with his act. In the next moment, Wang Mang said in his heart, "System, upgrade to a mythical prodigy." As soon as he finished speaking, the system's voice sounded. Ding! 1,500 talent points have been successfully deducted. Successfully upgraded to a mythical prodigy. Then, a terrifying white light began to envelop Wang Mang's body. The light was dazzling. Countless geniuses were dumbfounded by this magical scene. But in the next moment, something even more unbelievable happened. They saw that a dark phenomenon began to appear around Wang Mang's body. In the phenomenon, a huge nine-headed, nine-colored python covered the sky and the sun. Its huge body stretched endlessly, covering heaven and earth as it coiled above the 3,000 Great Tao River. Its 9 huge snake heads hung vertically above the 3,000 Great Tao River. Its 9 pairs of snake eyes seemed to be staring at the heavens, as if they could see through the past, present, and future. Although this was just a phenomenon, it made all the prodigies present tremble from the bottom of their hearts. They felt their scalps go numb, and even their minds were greatly shocked. But as the dazzling light dissipated, the terrifying phenomenon also slowly dissipated. All the prodigies present heaved a sigh of relief. But what made everyone feel strange was that they couldn't recall what the strange phenomenon they had seen before was. Of course, Wang Mang knew that the phenomenon he had seen before, if he guessed correctly, was the primordial 9-headed ancestor. A long time ago, the system had introduced that this was an existence that surpassed rank 9. But whether it really surpassed rank 9, Wang Mang did not know. But now that he saw the phenomenon of the primordial 9-headed ancestor, Wang Mang was still very shocked. Could it really be rank 9? Even a rank 8 lord did not know whether rank 9 existed or not. After shaking his head, Wang Mang did not think too much about it. After sensing the powerful power of laws in his body, Wang Mang felt better than ever. Well, he became a mythical prodigy. His combat power, naturally, his combat power reached the 2nd level of the Supreme Realm. Similarly, his combat power at the 2nd level of the Supreme Realm was 10 times higher. In other words, the difference between the 1st and the 2nd level of the Supreme level of the Supreme level. It was just like the difference between the battle prowess of a 9th level God Emperor and a 1st level Extreme Realm. After regaining his senses, Xiahou Yuan was immediately stunned. He opened his mouth, wanted to say something, but hesitated. What else could he say? Was he mocking Wang Mang? Was he qualified? No. The difference between the 2nd level of the Supreme Realm and the 1st level of the Supreme Realm was also 10 times. At that moment, Xiahou Yuan finally understood why Wang Mang said that he did not deserve to be on equal footing with him. This was because the two of them were not on the same level at all. Similarly, he was not the only one in despair. All the prodigies present were in complete despair. Wang Mang was too powerful. He was not someone they could fight against at all. Looking at the despair on the faces of the prodigies present, Wang Mang's lips curled up slightly. Then, he pointed a finger at Xiahou Yuan. The terrifying power of laws transformed into a terrifying sword finger that whistled through the air. Seeing this, Xiahou Yuan's expression changed drastically. He immediately roared, thunder in palm. As he shouted angrily, he met Wang Mang's finger sword attack head-on and gathered the power of laws to shoot out. Rumble. It was accompanied by an earth-shattering explosion. The power of laws that Xiahou Yuan had condensed was dispersed by Wang Mang's casual finger. Not only that, the sword finger's power did not diminish as it swept towards Xiahou Yuan. Bang! Another loud, muffled sound rang out. The terrifying sword finger had already pierced through Xiahou Yuan's chest. Xiahou Yuan lowered his head in disbelief. He looked at his chest and muttered to himself. That's right, he muttered to himself. Is this the power of the second level of the Supreme Realm? It's a qualitative difference from the first level of the Supreme Realm. As soon as he said that, Xiahou Yuan raised his head and looked at the bloody mouth that was already sweeping towards him. Seeing this, Xiahou Yuan smirked coldly. Even if I die, I won't let you off so easily. As soon as he said that, Xiahou Yuan instantly absorbed the power of laws around him, and his body expanded like a balloon. Bang! Accompanied by a loud noise. Xiahou Yuan had completely self-destructed. Not even his primordial spirit was left. This scene caused Wang Mang, who had transformed into a giant python, to feel extremely surprised. He did not expect this guy to have such a backbone. He would rather die than be devoured by him. Of course, Wang Mang did not take it seriously. Instead, he looked at the other prodigies and swept out. In the next moment, the prodigies could not help but beg in despair. Fellow Taoist, let us go. I'm willing to do anything for you. Is this the result of conquering all the realms? It's really a complete loss. Qing I won't be able to see you again. Remember to take good care of yourself. Sigh, I didn't expect to die in the first round. I'm still a little unwilling. In an instant, many prodigies said all sorts of things. However, the number of prodigies was decreasing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Within the barrier, Wang Mang had transformed into a giant python. Every time it opened its bloody mouth, dozens of prodigies would be devoured. There were also those who were unwilling to give up and put up a last-ditch struggle, fleeing in all directions to avoid being killed. There were also those who tried to fight Wang Mang, but unfortunately, they were no match for him at all. The gap between them was too big. A prodigy with the combat power of a first Firmament Supreme Realm was enough to kill them. Moreover, Wang Mang's current combat power had reached the second firmament of the Supreme Realm. Because of this, the gap between the two sides could not be made up at all. This also meant that they could only become prey. Moreover, following Wang Mang's massacre, blood dyed the golden lakeside red. It could be said that blood flowed like a river. At the same time, the system's voice in Wang Mang's mind did not stop. Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully devoured a third firmament supreme god, an unparalleled prodigy. Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully obtained 300 million energy points. Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully obtained 2 talent points. Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully devoured a fourth firmament supreme god, an unparalleled prodigy. Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully obtained 400 million energy points. Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully obtained 2 talent points. Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully devoured a fifth firmament supreme god, an unparalleled prodigy. Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully obtained 500 million energy points. Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully obtained 2 talent points. Chapter 852. A few days later, beside the Supreme Tomb, beside the Golden Lake. At this moment, the lake water was dyed red. Blood dyed the entire ground red. In the entire barrier, only Hua Yunfei was left. Yes, if he wasn't an ally of Wang Mang. He estimated that he would have been hunted by Wang Mang. Similarly, he had also hunted a lot of geniuses in this Heaven's Pride hunt. Of course, compared to Wang Mang, it was definitely a drop in the ocean, because these geniuses were very powerful. From the beginning to the end, he could only choose some weak ones. Most of them fell into Wang Mang's bloody mouth. At this moment, bang, 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 on the golden lake where blood flowed like a river, a huge python covered in blood rose from the lake, and the blood rose tens of thousands of feet high. In the next moment, Wang Mang turned into his human form with a smile on his face. Now he had hunted 2,000 geniuses. His harvest was simply unimaginable. He could have evolved long ago. The number of geniuses he had hunted was countless. The amount of energy he had obtained was also huge. According to the incomplete statistics, it was a rough guess. The amount of energy he had obtained was no less than 600 billion. Now he had truly achieved it. He had reached the sky in a single bound. Now he only needed to get on the Emperor board and complete the final task. After digesting the harvest this time, his strength would soar again. This also changed Wang Mang's mentality. If the Wang Mang in the past was more afraid of death, then the current Wang Mang, with the support of absolute strength and a huge amount of resources, Wang Mang became unprecedentedly confident. The light in his eyes was quite contemptuous of the world. Perhaps I can also become an invincible sovereign. At this moment, Wang Mang couldn't help but mutter to himself. Hearing this, Hua Yunfei, who was not far away, immediately flew over and said with a flattering smile, "Brother Wang Mang, you are determined to become an invincible sovereign. Now you have devoured 2,000 geniuses. I'm not far from junior sovereign. There will definitely be a place for you on this path of conquest." Hearing this, Wang Mang's eyes were filled with fighting spirit. He nodded slowly and said, "This year's invincible supremacy, I will definitely fight for it." At this moment, if there were any familiar people, they would realize that Wang Mang had changed. There was an unprecedented confidence in his tone. This had never happened before. After all, Wang Mang was too weak in the past. Now he had successfully made a magnificent turnaround. Thinking of this, Wang Mang became even more high-spirited. He said indifferently, "Let's go. I should be able to make it onto the monarch ranking this time, right?" Hearing this, Hua Yunfei said in an envious tone, "Brother Wang Mang, you didn't just enter the monarch ranking this time. In my opinion, Brother Wang Mang might even make it onto the sovereign leaderboard." Then Wang Mang easily shattered the heaven and earth barrier with a wave of his hand. Hearing this, Wang Mang neither denied nor nodded. He knew his background very well. The sovereign leaderboard was too far away. It was better to become a sovereign first. Moreover, Wang Mang knew that if he wanted to compete for the sovereign leaderboard, he had to improve his divine abilities. As of now, he only had the ancient devil tyrannical body. As for the 3 lives Supreme Buddha, as well as the origin devouring, murderous devouring technique, as well as the wrath of the gods and demons, it was only at the peak of the 5th stage. Now, he had reached his limit. For the current Wang Mang, these 3 divine abilities were no longer of much use. Now, he only had 1 divine ability of the 6th stage. This was the ancient demon tyrannical body, a divine ability of the 6th stage. The ancient demon tyrannical body was a divine ability of the 6th stage and below. This was also the only divine ability that was useful to Wang Mang now. If he had the conditions, he would change all of his divine abilities. Only then would he be able to fully unleash his second heaven of the supreme realm. In the process of thinking, Wang Mang and Hua Yunfei soon arrived outside the 3rd city gate. The 500 to 600 prodigies who had stopped nearby were even more shocked by Wang Mang's aura. Without waiting for Wang Mang to approach, they had already retreated back into the city. As for why they were able to escape, because 2 days ago, another Supreme Realm prodigy passed by and headed to the 4th city. This prodigy directly blasted open the 2 barriers set up by Wang Mang. Therefore, they continued to be active. But after seeing Wang Mang, this group of prodigies was completely dumbfounded. Of course, they recognized Wang Mang. But Wang Mang's strength was too strong, wasn't it? He was much stronger than he was more than a month ago. For a moment, the prodigies in the city were in an uproar. It seems that those prodigies who went to the Supreme Tomb are all finished. Yeah, Moreover, his aura is even stronger. I'm afraid he has reached the second heaven of the supreme realm. He killed so many prodigies. It's normal for him to break through to the mythical level, okay? With his strength, he shouldn't stay in the third city for too long. He has already become a big shot. We can't afford to offend him. Facing the discussion of the prodigies, Wang Mang stood with his hands behind his back and pretended to be calm as he walked into the third city. Of course, Wang Mang enjoyed the flattery of these prodigies and the fear in their eyes. At the same time, Huai Yunfei, who was following beside Wang Mang, also had a proud look on his face. Soon, under the fearful gazes of the prodigies, after Wang Mang entered the city, he came to the bustling area of the city. At this moment, there were still many prodigies gathered near the Supreme Leaderboard and the Emperor Leaderboard. Obviously, the flow of prodigies between the cities was very high. Seeing this, Huai Yunfei immediately took the lead and shouted, "You ants! All of you ants, scram! Can't you see that my big brother is here? Damn it! If you dare to look at me again, I'll slap you. Aya! How dare you stare at me? Are you blind? You've angered my brother. I'll kill you." As he spoke, Huai Yunfei was extremely arrogant. He pushed the prodigies aside and made a path for him. This caused many prodigies nearby to be extremely displeased. In an instant, the prodigies glared at him. However, when they saw Wang Mang behind Huai Yunfei, they all sucked in a breath of cold air. Many prodigies who recognized Wang Mang and Huai Yunfei were in disbelief. How is this possible? This guy only has the battle strength of a ninth heaven emperor god not long ago. Yeah, how did he manage to break through to the second heaven emperor god realm in less than 2 months? Looks like he's the one who caused the commotion and sealed the city and massacred the prodigies. What the F***CK? You mean he's the god of slaughter who sealed the city and massacred 2,000 prodigies? Awesome. He killed 2,000 prodigies? No wonder he's called the god of slaughter. I heard that he could become a mythical prodigy a month ago. Now that he has killed 2,000 prodigies, he's going to become a supreme. Isn't that obvious? If the god of slaughter can't become a supreme, I'll cut off my penis. Chapter 853. After hearing the discussions of the geniuses, Wang Mang was somewhat surprised. He did not expect to be given a title. Exterminator? Not bad. How domineering. It was very fitting for his identity. With this thought, Wang Mang felt even more smug. His face was filled with confidence. He stood with his hands behind his back and took a few steps forward with a calm look, as if he was not bothered by the discussions of the crowd. Of course, this was only on the surface. In fact, Wang Mang was indescribably pleased. Great. This was the feeling he was looking for. He was the most handsome one among the crowd. This was more fitting for his current status and identity, especially the astonishment in the eyes of the geniuses, as well as the admiration, respect, and fear in the eyes of the geniuses. This caused Wang Mang to feel extremely comfortable in his heart. He felt exceptionally refreshed. Besides, he did not even need Huai Yunfei to chase him away. As he walked toward the monarch ranking, the geniuses nearby took the initiative to make way for him. Soon, Wang Mang arrived at the stone pillar in front of the monarch ranking under the gaze of the geniuses. This caused the sky prides present to start whispering and speculating. Do you guys think the exterminator wants to be ranked on the monarch ranking? I think so. I heard that the exterminator was not ranked on the monarch ranking a month ago. Yeah. The exterminator said that he would definitely be ranked on the monarch ranking after breaking through to the legendary level. Isn't that easy? The exterminator is now at the second layer of the supreme realm. He should be ranked at least 8,000. F***Kami? Are you looking down on the exterminator? I think the exterminator will be ranked at least 6,000 on the monarch ranking. Hearing the discussions of the crowd, Wang Mang smirked and placed his hand on the stone pillar. The next moment, the stone pillar emitted a strong glow. Following this, the glow instantly penetrated Wang Mang's glabella. At this moment, A small word appeared on Wang Mang's glabella. Monarch. Perhaps this was the so-called mark of the monarch ranking. Unfortunately, Wang Mang was wearing the sovereign mask. Naturally, no one could see the Golden Emperor character. However, the stone pillar in front of Wang Mang soon changed. A line of small words appeared, frowny face 8888 on the monarch rankings. Please insert name. Hearing this, Wang Mang's heart skipped a beat, and he used his finger to write the two words Killer God. The next moment, the stone pillar changed, and a line of words appeared, frowny face, the name is already in use. Please reset the name. Wang Mang was stunned. Then, he tried a few more domineering names, but unfortunately, they were all used by others. Left with no choice, he tried a new name, slaughtering the dogs of the monarch ranking. The next moment, the stone pillar emitted another burst of light. Congratulations! Nickname successfully created. Congratulations! Slaughter all the dogs on the monarch board. Enter the monarch rankings. Congratulations! You have been notified of your entry into the monarch rankings. Congratulations! The members of the monarch rankings will know of your existence. May you become an undefeatable 9 heaven supreme in the path of conquering the realms. Following this, a line of golden words appeared above Wang Mang's head. Slaughtering the dogs of the monarch rankings. What the F *** K? When he saw this, Wang Mang was dumbfounded. He had just randomly set the name. He had failed to come up with a domineering name. Did he succeed by choosing a domineering name? This was something that Wang Mang did not expect. What made Wang Mang even more speechless was that his name was broadcasted by the monarch rankings. The so-called monarch rankings was broadcasted by the monarch rankings. Every member of the monarch rankings would know of his existence. Didn't that mean everyone on the monarch rankings knew of his existence? That was indeed the case. Wang Mang's guess was correct. Meanwhile, in the vast 12 cities, the 12 cities were also known as the mythical city. The reason being that it was the last city in the 4th stage. Currently, there were more than 10,000 geniuses gathered in the mythical city. Moreover, among the 10,000 geniuses, the weakest was at the extreme state. In other words, those who had not reached the extreme state were not qualified to appear here. If one were to observe carefully, they would realize that the geniuses here were too powerful. It could even be said that there were as many legendary geniuses as dogs, and mythical geniuses were everywhere. The 3rd heaven of the extreme state was in the mythical city. They couldn't even let out a fart. Sorry, they could only be considered ordinary here. That was because this was the last city for the final battle between the Supremes. Moreover, this was the situation where the battle of conquering the realms had not officially begun. One could imagine how cruel this place would be if the final battle between the undefeatable 9 heaven supreme was. That was because this was just a group of geniuses. Once the battle of conquering the realms officially began, the number of geniuses gathered here would definitely be many times or even more. Even the strongest ones, the 6th heaven of the extreme state, would be in large numbers. That was because the weakest geniuses in the mythical city were all legendary geniuses who had reached the extreme state. At this moment, countless terrifying geniuses raised their heads and listened to the broadcast of the monarch rankings that echoed in the air. After learning of Wang Mang's name, these terrifyingly powerful prodigies all began to stir. Many of the geniuses with golden words above their heads were enraged, their faces filled with murderous intent. They were all geniuses that were ranked on the monarch rankings. Thus they too had golden words above their heads and the word monarch on their foreheads. However, the name Wang Mang came up with was cursing every single genius on the monarch rankings. Slaughter all the dogs on the monarch rankings. It was definitely the most arrogant name. All of a sudden, many of the Sky Pride sneered coldly and said, "This ant really deserves to die. He actually dares to provoke us like this. This ant didn't come to the mythical city. Once he does, we'll make him suffer." Ridiculous. Even the little 9 heaven supremes in the top 10 of the monarch rankings wouldn't dare to be so arrogant. This kid is really courting his own death. Who has the imperial badge? Go to the 3rd city and kill this ant. I'll give him a pseudo 6th rank mystical ability. Let him know that we're untouchable existences. How arrogant. How many talented geniuses in the city have yet to be ranked on the monarch rankings? How dare an ant ranked at the bottom of the 8,000 disrespect? I have the imperial badge. If any of you can give me a 6th rank mystical ability, I'll personally head to the 3rd city and kill him. At the same time, Wang Mang had no idea. He was too arrogant with the name. He had yet to reach the 12 cities. His name had already spread across the 12 cities. Similarly, the geniuses nearby, after seeing the name Wang Mang, came up with they all took deep breaths. This was definitely a ruthless person, or else they wouldn't dare to come up with such an arrogant name, because they had never seen such a person before. A person who came up with such an arrogant name. They had learned something new today. However, they didn't know that Wang Mang actually wanted to change the name. Unfortunately, the monarch rankings didn't allow it. Therefore, Wang Mang was helpless. In addition, after seeing the admiration and awe in the eyes of the geniuses present, Wang Mang could only stand with his hands behind his back, looking calm and indifferent. Well, he had to be unyielding to the end. Since he was pretending, he would do it thoroughly. At this moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully completed the mission of ranking on the monarch rankings and killing 300 geniuses. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained an immortal king-level blind box X1. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained an immortal king-level treasure box X1. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a random draw opportunity X1. Ding! The accumulation has met the evolution conditions. Begin evolution. Chapter 854. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was elated, although he could have evolved long ago. Now, he had obtained tens of billions of energy points. Wang Mang was still very happy. At the same time, Wang Mang also wanted to know, when he digested these gains again, how much would his strength soar to? 3rd heaven of the supreme realm? 4th heaven of the supreme realm? By then, his strength would probably soar to the 4th heaven of the supreme realm. Wang Mang still had this bit of confidence. He now had at least 700 billion energy points. He could easily evolve twice. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was instantly in a good mood. Then, under the respectful gazes of the prodigies, Wang Mang walked out of the city with his hands behind his back. At this moment, Hua Yunfei also hurriedly followed. In Hua Yunfei's eyes, Wang Mang was now a powerful person. Moreover, he was a very powerful person. There were many benefits to clinging on to him. Therefore, he naturally had to follow Wang Mang's footsteps at all times. Moreover, he guessed that Wang Mang was very likely preparing to digest his gains. By then, Wang Mang's strength would probably become even more terrifying. He even guessed that Wang Mang might very well kill his way to the 12 cities in one go. Of course, all of this was just his guess. Similarly, after seeing Wang Mang leave, the prodigies near the city all heaved a sigh of relief. This was because under the pressure of Wang Mang's 2nd heaven of the supreme realm aura, they felt immense pressure. Moreover, many prodigies began to guess if Wang Mang was going to leave. After all, there weren't many prodigies left to hunt if Wang Mang stayed here. Thinking of this, these prodigies were even more delighted. They couldn't wait for this killing god to leave as soon as possible. After all, as long as Wang Mang was here, they wouldn't dare to leave the city easily. At this moment, Wang Mang, who had arrived outside the city, looked at Hua Yunfei, who was following behind him, and muttered, "You don't have to follow me. You don't have to follow me. Just wait here for me." Hearing this, Hua Yunfei immediately chuckled. "All right, then I'll wait here for brother Wang Mang's strength to soar." Wang Mang nodded slightly, then shot up into the sky and flew towards the depths of the wilderness. After a few hours, Wang Mang came to the place where he had last secluded himself. After that, Wang Mang set up a barrier and entered the cave. After sitting cross-legged in the cave, Wang Mang cheerfully muttered to himself, "System, open your personal information." He wanted to see how much he had accumulated. The next moment, his personal information appeared before his eyes. Wang Mang, all heavens expert, myriad devil ancestor, type, ancient fiendish python, limit 800 meters. Realm, 5th heavenly god emperor, legend, build, HP 38,000, length 800 meters, width 38 meters, weight 190 million tons. Top divine ability, ancient fiend, tyrannical body, perfection, devouring divine art, perfection, 3 lives supreme Buddha, mastery, fiend god's wrath, perfection. Space, 1 bottle of forgetting love water, 1 top-level 5th stage tracking talisman X1, random draw opportunity X1, immortal king grade blind box X1, immortal king grade treasure chest X1. Equipment, supreme mask, talent, 50/50/15,000 lesser supreme. Energy value, 880 billion/350 billion. Emperor board ranking, 8888. After reading his personal information, Wang Mang suddenly smiled. The accumulated energy value, it was more than he had imagined. It would be easy for him to evolve twice now. In addition, the accumulated talent value, it was also more than he had imagined. Not bad, not bad. According to the current situation, it was certain that he would become a supreme. There was bound to be a place for him on this path of conquering the heavens. The only thing that gave him a headache was that he didn't have a designated lucky draw opportunity and couldn't get a new template. If he couldn't get a new template, he probably wouldn't be able to continue evolving. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was in a good mood. At the same time, he happily muttered in his heart, "System, open the immortal king grade treasure chest." In the next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations to the host. Successfully opened the immortal king grade treasure chest." Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 1 billion energy value. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 1.5 billion energy value. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 2 billion energy value. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 2.5 billion energy value. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 3 billion energy value. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained the North Emperor Wang Tung's War Chariot. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained a 9-headed snake pulling coffin. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained a 90,000-year-old immortal peach. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained Shun Gongbao's Buddha Whisk. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was speechless. He didn't care about this little bit of energy value at all. It was only 10 billion. To Wang Mang, who now had 800 to 900 billion energy value, it was really just a drop in the bucket. Forget it. A mosquito's leg was also meat. After shaking his head, Wang Mang didn't bother about it anymore. Then, he said in his heart again, "System, open the immortal king grade blind box. I don't have high requirements. Just give me a template." The next moment, the system's voice sounded again, frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations to the host. Successfully opened the immortal king grade blind box." Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 1 billion energy value. Wasn't this energy value too little? After hearing the announcement, Wang Mang was speechless. He didn't have high requirements now. Energy value didn't matter. Just give him a template, because without a template, he couldn't evolve again. At this moment, the system's voice sounded for the second time. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 4 billion energy value. Damn. Big brother, I don't want energy value anymore. Big brother system, give me a template. Another minute later, Wang Mang was depressed. The system's voice sounded for the third time, frowny face ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 5 billion energy value. After hearing the system's announcement, Wang Mang was even more depressed. Well, he needed energy value. The energy value didn't give him a good time, now that he didn't need it. But the energy value kept coming. Another minute later, the system's voice sounded for the fourth time, frowny face ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 10 billion energy value. It was all right. At this moment, Wang Mang's mood was as calm as an ancient well. He was neither sad nor happy. There was nothing the system could do if it wanted to give him energy value. It seemed that he had to think of a new way to create a new template. Not long after, the system's voice sounded for the fifth time, frowny face ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 20 billion energy value. Good heavens. It was quite awesome. He didn't usually see the Immortal King Gray Blind Box being so awesome. Just as Wang Mang was complaining, the system's voice sounded for the sixth time, frowny face ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 20 billion energy value. Was this the rhythm of making his energy value break through 1 trillion? For a moment, Wang Mang was completely stunned. This Immortal King Gray Blind Box was too awesome. Another minute later, the system's voice sounded for the seventh time, frowny face ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 50 billion energy value. What the hell? What the hell? Without the blessing of a one-time top-notch 5th stage good luck card, this Immortal King Gray Blind Box actually obtained 110 billion energy value. This had never happened before, because this also caused him to accumulate energy value. It reached an unprecedented 1 trillion energy value. What exactly was going on? Could it be that the system had malfunctioned? Or had the system also gone crazy? Chapter 855. Just as Wang Mang was in shock, another minute had passed. The system's voice sounded for the seventh time. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have successfully obtained postpartum care for a sow. What the hell? What was he going to do with postpartum care for a sow? Was he supposed to open a pig farm to raise pigs? At this moment, another minute passed. The system's voice sounded for the eighth time. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have successfully obtained a copy of the Eastern Faction Unit Castration Manual. Wang Mang was speechless again. He really did not know how to complain. What kind of things were these? Just as Wang Mang thought that the lottery was over, the system's voice sounded for the ninth time. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have successfully obtained a copy of the Immortal Level Sunflower Manual. Amazing. He was actually speechless. For a moment, Wang Mang was simply speechless. At this moment, the system's voice sounded again. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have successfully obtained a one-off 5th stage top-notch bad luck card X1. After listening to the system's announcement, Wang Mang really did not know whether to be happy or helpless. An Immortal King level blind box had more than 100 billion energy points. This was without the blessing of a top-notch good luck card. Could he say that it was rubbish? No, it was the complete opposite. It was extremely awesome. It had reached an unprecedented level. The only flaw was that it did not give him a template. Now, he could only hope that the remaining random lottery chances would be good. However, Wang Mang felt that this was unlikely. Of course, although the chances were very slim, Wang Mang still wanted to give it a try. After taking a deep breath, Wang Mang silently said in his heart, "System, activate the random lottery chances." The next moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have successfully used a random lottery ticket. As soon as he said that, a 12 Zodiac lucky draw compass appeared in his mind. But when he received the prize, Wang Mang's eyes lit up. There was a chance, because there really was a template on the prize. The 12 prizes were as follows: Frowny Face Prize 1, King Award. Note, after winning the lottery will start again, and the prizes obtained will be multiplied by 100 times. Prize 2, Triple Combo. Note, after you win the lottery, you will start the lottery again. The prizes you won, including the first prize and the second prize, will be taken away together. Prize 3, 100 billion energy value. Prize 4, 10 billion energy value. Prize 5, 9 Heavens Thunder Python template. Prize 6, rank 6 lower bad luck card X1. Reward 7, middle rank 6 good luck card X1. Reward 8, rank 6 special ability, 9 lightning heavenly emperor seal. Reward 9, rank 6 divine ability, overbearing body of celestial demons. Reward 10, rank 6 lower bloodline. Reward 11, thank you for your patronage. Please come again next time. Reward 12, immortal emperor level treasure chest X1. After looking at the 12 prizes, Wang Mang nodded secretly. If he could get the template, that would be enough. The chance was also very high. It should be 1 in 10. As for the first and second prizes, it was basically impossible. The last time he was so lucky to get 3 consecutive prizes, it was really good luck. Wang Mang was well aware of this. At the same time, the lucky draw compass also began to spin rapidly. At the same time, Wang Mang's heart was in his throat, because if he did not get it this time, he basically had no chance. Soon, the needle of the lucky draw compass started to spin. A minute later, the needle of the lucky draw compass slowed down. The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a one-time rank 6 lower bad luck card. Note, after use, the target will fall into a state of extreme bad luck for 24 hours. If it's light, the target will be afflicted with bad luck. If it's heavy, the target will be in danger of dying. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang was completely stunned. Damn, he did not get it. It would rather give him an even more awesome rank 6 lower bad luck card than give him a template. Where was the F** King Justice in this? For a moment, Wang Mang was extremely depressed. At this moment, his face was even more gloomy and terrifying. Because if he did not have a rank 5 template, even if he had 1 trillion energy points now, he still could not evolve. This was like having an infinite amount of wealth, but could not spend it. This feeling made Wang Mang extremely miserable. Damn it, 1 trillion energy points. This was enough for him to evolve a few times. At this moment, Wang Mang did not know what to say. It seemed that if he wanted to get the template, he had to think of another way. System, give me a mission. It's best if it's a mission with a designated lucky draw chance. At this moment, Wang Mang could not help but complain to the system. In the next moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding! Detected the host's current situation. The host is given the following mission to choose from. Mission 1. Facing the incoming monarch leaderboard prodigies of the 12 cities. Choose to admit defeat and temporarily avoid them. Mission time. Available upon selection. Mission reward. 10 billion energy points. Immortal King Treasure Chest X1. Mission 2. Facing the incoming monarch leaderboard prodigies of the 12 cities. Choose to fight. Mission time. Available upon completion. Mission reward. 50 billion energy points. Immortal Emperor Treasure Chest X1. Mission 3. Facing the incoming monarch leaderboard prodigies of the 12 cities. Kill them and intimidate the monarch leaderboard. Mission time. Available upon completion. Mission reward. 300 billion energy points. Immortal Emperor Treasure Chest X1. Immortal Emperor Blind Box X1. Designated Lucky Draw Chance X1. When he heard the system's mission, Wang Mang was completely stunned. Why did the monarch leaderboard prodigies of the 12 cities find trouble with him? If he remembered correctly, he hadn't offended anyone recently, had he? Besides, according to the system's mission, this monarch leaderboard prodigy was obviously targeting him. Upon thinking of this, Wang Mang frowned. He really couldn't think of anyone he had offended recently. Could it be because he was ranked on the monarch leaderboard? At this thought, the more Wang Mang thought about it, the more likely it was. When he was ranked on the monarch leaderboard, he was broadcasted. In that case, it was very likely that his name had angered the prodigy of the monarch leaderboard. After figuring out the problem, Wang Mang's face darkened. Wasn't it just a name? Was there a need to be so calculative? He had even come from the 12 cities. This meant that he also had a king badge. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to return to the third city. Upon thinking of this, Wang Mang felt even more troubled. A prodigy with a king badge was definitely not someone to be trifled with. There was no doubt about it. Could it be that a junior sovereign had come? Upon thinking of this, Wang Mang panicked even more. If he had obtained the template, he wouldn't be so passive. By then, with 3 consecutive breakthroughs, he would possess the strength of the 5th layer supreme realm. Even on the path of conquering the heavens and realms, he would be one of the top cultivators. However, without the template, he could not evolve. There was no way he could fight against the prodigies of the 12 cities. There was no doubt about the background and strength of these geniuses who entered the 12 cities. They were definitely very ferocious. Besides, they were clearly aware of his ranking, yet they still dared to kill him. In that case, the prodigy must be very powerful, and his ranking must be very high too. Chapter 856. Otherwise, where did the other party's confidence come from? Why would they dare to kill him? In addition, Wang Mang guessed that there were many reasons for the other party's strength. The other party came from the 12th city. This proved that the other party's accumulation and foundation were already very strong. Otherwise, he wouldn't have entered the 12th city so quickly. What's more, the other party also had the king's token, so his accumulation was definitely very strong. Because without the king's token, the other party wouldn't be able to come back to kill him. Therefore, Wang Mang guessed that the other party might have reached the lesser supreme master level, which was not a wild guess. The more he thought about it, the more Wang Mang couldn't help but feel a headache. In the end, he couldn't help but sigh. It was impossible to choose the third mission. His strength was not enough to kill the other party. There was no doubt about this, because the other party took the initiative to kill him. Without strength, would the other party dare to kill him? What a joke. Unless the other party was a fool. Thinking of this, Wang Mang felt a pain in his heart, because if he killed the other party, he would get a designated lottery opportunity. However, the difficulty of this mission was too high. He had no choice but to give up. Similarly, it was impossible to get the second mission. If he encountered it, the other party would definitely kill him. So what was there to fight for? Once he lost the battle, he would die. Wang Mang didn't want to gamble with his life. After taking a deep breath, Wang Mang said helplessly in his heart, "System, I choose the first mission." The next moment, the system's voice sounded, "Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully completed the mission." Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 10 billion energy value. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained immortal king-level treasure chest X1. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang's face was full of depression. Even if he got a free mission, he couldn't be happy at all. Soon after, Wang Mang unhesitatingly said, "System, open this treasure chest for me." The next moment, the system's voice sounded again, "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully opened the Celestial King treasure chest." Ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully obtained an immortal grade roasted lamb. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained an immortal grade divine weapon. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a piece of 9-headed bug wife's underwear. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained the 4 old maids of the Void Master. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a celestial slaying sword. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully obtained a golden lotus. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully obtained the 3rd Holy Mother's underwear. Ding. Congratulations, host. Obtained pseudo rank 6 favorable impression card X1. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 9 Heavens Thunder Python template X1. Note, the 9 Heavens Thunder Python comes from a rank 6 continent and was born from the laws of thunder. It has the power to destroy heaven and earth, and its maximum length is 850 meters. Ding! New template found. Do you want to change template? After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was stunned at first and almost cried tears of joy. What the F *CK? He actually got a template. This was definitely something that Wang Mang never expected. This immortal king treasure chest that he used to comfort himself. He could actually get a template. This was a F *King silver lining. Wang Mang, who was extremely excited, immediately said in his heart, "Change template." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. Starting to change template." Ding. "Congratulations, host. You have successfully stripped the original template and the divine ability it carries." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained pseudo-rank 6 divine ability, 9 Heavens Thunder Seal." After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was instantly overjoyed. Not bad. He finally had a pseudo-rank 6 divine ability. In the past, his pseudo-rank 6 divine ability was only the ancient demon tyrannical body. Now, he finally had another attack type, Mystique. Hearing the name of this divine ability, he knew that it was definitely amazing. After taking a deep breath, Wang Mang said excitedly, "System, begin the evolution." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully deducted 350 billion energy points. Beginning the evolution." Ding. Warm reminder, the personal information page will be changed during the evolution. After that, Wang Mang completely lost consciousness in the midst of his evolution. Half a month later, in the cave, only then did Wang Mang slowly awaken from his evolution. At this moment, Wang Mang's strength was even more powerful. His aura had already reached the 4th heaven of the supreme realm. With every move he made, the terrifying power of the laws condensed around him like a spider web. Even when Wang Mang breathed, the power of the laws was exhaled. It could be said that it was like white smoke, as if he was swallowing clouds. Is this my power? It's really powerful to the extreme. The combat power of the 4th heaven of the supreme realm. Now, even if it's the 12th city, I can still go there. At this moment, feeling the enormous power in his body, Wang Mang lowered his head to look at his hands and muttered to himself. The excitement on his face could not be concealed at all. That was because the enormous and indescribable power in his body made Wang Mang understand. Now, if he wanted to kill a 2nd heaven of the supreme realm prodigy, it could be said that he could do so with a flip of his hand. That was because the difference between the 2nd heaven of the supreme realm and the 4th heaven of the supreme realm was a full 100 times. Therefore, one could imagine how powerful Wang Mang was now. Killing a 3rd heaven of the supreme realm was a piece of cake. Another thing worth mentioning was, his first evolution had cost 350 billion energy points. The second evolution had cost 500 billion energy points. As for how much energy points it would cost to evolve now, to be honest, Wang Mang did not know either. As a result, Wang Mang joyfully said in his heart, "Check my personal information." The next moment, personal information appeared before his eyes. Wang Mang, powerhouse of the heavens, ancestor of the myriad demon, type 9 Heavens Thunder Python, limit 850 meters, realm 7th heaven of the divine emperor, legendary prodigy, body 820 meters long, 38 meters wide, 2 billion tons in weight. Top divine ability, ancient demon tyrannical body, perfection, devouring divine art, perfection, 3 live supreme Buddha, perfection, wrath of the divine devil, perfection, 9 heavens thunder seal, perfection. Space, 1 bottle of forgotten love water, 1 top grade rank 5 tracking talisman X1, pseudo rank 6 bad luck card X1, low grade rank 6 bad luck card X1, pseudo rank 6 good impression card X1. Equipment, supreme mask, talent, 50/50/15,000, lesser supreme. Energy points, 260 billion/600 billion. Ranking on the Emperor board, 2988. After reading his personal information, Wang Mang immediately nodded in satisfaction. Not bad, not bad. His ranking on the Emperor board had automatically risen to 2,988. This was simply surpassing more than 5,000 prodigies on the Emperor board. This also made Wang Mang more confident in his own strength. But just as Wang Mang was in a good mood and was in high spirits, the system's voice sounded again, frowny-facing. Warm reminder, currently, an expert has used a pseudo-rank 6 tracking talisman on the host. Chapter 857. Good heavens! He came prepared indeed. He even used the pseudo-rank 6 tracking talisman. After the system's reminder, Wang Mang suddenly became nervous. His breakthrough was delayed for half a month. That guy should be here soon, right? Thinking of this, Wang Mang immediately stood up. He had to return to the city as soon as possible. Otherwise, he would be killed. That guy also had the king's token, which allowed him to travel freely between the major cities. With that thought, Wang Mang flew into the sky. After arriving at the cave, Wang Mang waved his hand and broke the barrier outside the cave. Then, Wang Mang flew toward the middle of the city at a terrifying speed. He was worried that the geniuses of the 12 cities would attack him before he reached the city. If that guy used the barrier to seal the city, he would not be able to escape. Only when he returned to the city could he move freely. Even if the other party came, they could only stare at him. A few hours later, Wang Mang heaved a sigh of relief. The geniuses of the 12 cities had not arrived yet. Because of that, Wang Mang slowed down his footsteps and walked toward the third city gate. At the same time, it was worth mentioning that the geniuses almost peed their pants when they saw Wang Mang return. For a time, the geniuses all cowered in the city, looking at Wang Mang outside the city, their hearts trembling with fear. Many of the geniuses were confused and began to discuss. Why is the killing god back? Yeah, damn it, I was almost scared to death. I was also shocked. I thought he had already left, but in the end, he came back and caught me off guard. What do you think the killing god wants to do? Don't tell me he wants to continue hunting us? I don't think so. He has reached the fourth heaven of the supreme realm. With such strength, it doesn't make sense for him to stay here and hunt us. Who knows? Anyway, let's be careful. He suddenly came back after leaving for half a month. Luckily, I'm not in the vast wilderness. Haha. If the god of slaughter seals the boundary again, those geniuses in the wasteland will probably cry. Just as the geniuses were discussing and guessing, Wang Mang was also frowning. He stood with his hands behind his back and quietly stared at the fourth city gate. But in the next moment, Wang Mang suddenly felt that something was wrong. Cries of alarm came from behind him. F***CK. Not good. Be careful, everyone. An expert of the monarch ranking was teleporting through the portal of the third city. His strength is so terrifying that it defies the heavens. What? A big shot from the monarch ranking was teleported here? How the F***CK could they still come back? Could it be that there's a decree of proclamation? What exactly is the monarch ranking trying to do? Who knows? Looks like it's going to be an eventful time. I can't afford to offend him. Did this guy come back from the 12 cities? Furthermore, he even has a king decree. He must be one of the top geniuses on the monarch ranking. Wang Mang's heart tightened when he heard the crowd's discussion. Following this, Wang Mang immediately entered the third city gate. Following this, Wang Mang glanced at the streets in the distance. Meanwhile, Wang Mang was also listening to the discussions of the geniuses. At that instant, Wang Mang glanced at the streets in the distance. A figure in a golden dragon robe appeared in his sight. The most eye-catching thing was that there was a line of small golden words above this guy's head. Name: Ancient Emperor. Rank: 188th on the monarch ranking. Impressive. The Ancient Emperor. Rank: 188th. He was more than 1,000 ranks higher than him. A guy on the monarch ranking was here to hunt him down. Wasn't he overestimating him? No wonder he dared to hunt him down. This son of AB*TCH was really strong. After taking a deep breath, Wang Mang wore a stern expression. Besides, following the guy's arrival, the entire city was filled with a strong pressure. Wang Mang was very familiar with this pressure. He had reached the sixth heaven of the supreme realm. In other words, even after he had broken through, there was still a difference of 2 heavens between him and the other party. This also proved that he had made the right choice not to fight against this guy. If he really wanted to fight against this guy, he would definitely be beaten up. Besides, Wang Meng could sense that this guy's level was the same as his. However, judging from his aura, this guy's foundation was countless times stronger than his. Moreover, the difference between the 4th heaven of the Supreme Realm and the 6th heaven of the Supreme Realm was 100 times. If he was outside the city now, he would probably be in deep trouble. That was because the difference was 100 times. Just like now, he could easily kill a 2nd heaven of the Supreme Realm. He could kill him with a flip of his hand. Similarly, after careful observation, Wang Meng discovered that this guy was holding a long spear in his hand. The divine spear was snow-white and emitted the power of laws. It was extremely extraordinary. In fact, it even posed a great threat to Wang Meng. This also confirmed Wang Meng's guess. This was definitely not an ordinary item. It was very likely that it had reached the pseudo-6th level. At the same time, the Emperor of Ancients also saw Wang Meng. When he saw the line of golden words above Wang Meng's head, he could not help but laugh in surprise. No wonder this guy was so arrogant. The speed at which his strength increased was really fast. Now, he had reached the 2nd heaven of the Supreme Realm. It seemed that he was quite capable to have such an arrogant name. Of course, that was all. The Emperor of Ancients played with the long spear in his hand expressionlessly as he walked over. The surrounding sky prides on the streets made way for him in fear. They did not dare to provoke such a big shot. That was because just the obvious golden words above the Emperor of Ancients' head were enough to scare the sky prides present and make them tremble in fear. Soon, the Emperor of Ancients walked in front of Wang Meng. This also caused the sky prides around Wang Meng to immediately disperse. Even Hua Yunfei, who was on good terms with Wang Meng, had long hidden in the other sky prides group. That was because Hua Yunfei also realized that the situation was not good. After Wang Meng appeared, he did not go up to greet him. At this moment, the Emperor of Ancients, who had walked in front of Wang Meng, sized up Wang Meng expressionlessly. He crossed his arms in front of his chest and chuckled. Hee, what an arrogant name. Kid, do you dare to fight with me at the same level? I won't bully you. Let's fight at the battle arena in the city. After hearing this, the crowd of sky prides was in an uproar. Obviously, none of the sky prides present had expected this. This was a big shot on the Emperor ranking who had probably returned from the 12 cities. He was actually here to cause trouble for Wang Meng. In an instant, the sky prides who had gathered around began to discuss among themselves. Did you see that? Someone will take care of him. This assassin god is in for it. He is the assassin god. He is just hiding in the 3rd city and bullying us. That's right. He is hiding in the 3rd city and only knows how to bully the weak and fear the strong. How can he be the assassin god? Puffed. Keep your voice down. I don't know if the assassin god will be unlucky or not. However, if he survives, all of you will be in for it. What a joke. Although the assassin god's strength has increased tremendously and his ranking has risen to 2,888th, he is nothing in the eyes of the Emperor of Ancients. Chapter 858. I'm afraid he's the killing god. I won't go out. What can he do to me? This guy can't even save himself now. He'd better get through this crisis first. Do you believe that the killing god will be the same as us? He'll probably hide in the city. He won't dare to accept the challenge from the Emperor of Ancient. It's normal that he won't dare to accept it. If I were him, I wouldn't dare to accept it either. After all, the Emperor of Ancient is ranked 188 on the Emperor board. What does the killing god have to fight against him? He's a coward. Killing god? If he's so capable, he should fight against the Emperor of Ancient. Otherwise, don't talk to me about the killing god. Obviously, many of the sky prides were unhappy with Wang Meng, mainly because Wang Meng had stayed in the 3rd city for too long. He made them worry every day, which seriously affected their hunt for sky prides. Therefore, when they saw a more powerful emperor of the emperor board coming to find trouble with Wang Mang. Naturally, they were happy to see it. In fact, they couldn't wait for Wang Mang to be killed. Therefore, they didn't bother to hide their flattery. For a moment, Wang Mang's face turned ugly. Whether it was the Emperor of Ancient's challenge or the other Sky Pride's mockery, Wang Mang heard it clearly. In fact, Wang Mang didn't dare to fight against the Emperor of Ancient. The difference between the two of them was not only in terms of combat strength. There was also the difference in their foundation, equipment, and special abilities. Seeing that Wang Mang was silent, the Emperor of Ancient raised his eyebrows. With a playful smile on his face, he said, "What's wrong? You don't dare? Aren't you very arrogant? How dare you call yourself the killing god? You can't even kill a dog like me. Who do you think you are? You're worse than a dog?" After hearing the Emperor of Ancient's mockery, Wang Mang's face turned pale. However, he couldn't find the words to refute the Emperor of Ancient. However, the surrounding geniuses began to mock him. "I see. No wonder the big shots of the monarch ranking are here to deal with him. You don't have much ability, but you sure talk big. How dare you give yourself such an arrogant name? You usually act so arrogantly in front of us. Why are you suddenly cowering now? Don't say that. Look at how ugly the Azura's face is. If he really holds a grudge against us, that would be bad. I'm afraid of him. I just don't want to bicker with him. Otherwise, I can suppress him with a flip of my hand. You're the King best. Last time, you were the one who boasted about the killing god. This time, you're also the one who belittled the killing god." Facing the mockery of the emperors of antiquity and the other Sky Prides present, Lin Fan's expression changed drastically. Wang Mang could be said to be clenching his fists tightly. His entire body was trembling in anger, and his expression was extremely ugly. At this moment, the system's voice sounded. "Ding! The host's current situation has been detected. The host is given the following mission to choose from. First mission, refuse to fight against the autarch of old humiliation. Bow your head and admit defeat. Mission time, available upon selection. Mission reward, 10 billion energy points. Celestial King grade treasure chest X1. Second mission, refuse to submit to the autarch of old humiliation. Scold and anger the other party. Mission time, available upon completion. Mission reward, 20 billion energy points. Celestial King grade treasure chest X1. Third mission, refuse to submit to the autarch of old humiliation. Agree to fight and refuse to submit. Mission time, available upon completion. Mission reward, 100 billion energy points. Celestial King grade treasure chest X1. Celestial King grade blind box X1. Designated lucky draw chance X1. After hearing the mission issued by the system, Wang Mang was stunned at first. Then he felt helpless in his heart. There were basically only two choices for this mission. Mission number 1 and mission number 2. Mission number 1. It was impossible to admit defeat. It was impossible to admit defeat in this lifetime. Mission number 2. It was a good choice. Although he really couldn't win. Couldn't he just rely on his mouth to attack? At this point, Wang Mang already had a choice in his heart. Then, Wang Mang said in his heart without hesitation, "System, I choose mission number 2. The next moment, the system's voice sounded. "Ding! Congratulations, host. You have successfully chosen the mission. Please complete the mission as soon as possible to receive the reward." After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang raised his head and looked at the autarch of old in front of him. "What? You don't even dare to fight with someone of the same level? What are you thinking? Why are you so timid? Who gave you the courage to give yourself this title?" After hearing the autarch of old's mockery, Wang Mang's face was full of anger. He pointed at the autarch of old and cursed. "Damn you! Why don't you fight with a supreme genius of the same level? How powerful do you think you are? When I reach the 6th heaven of Supreme Realm, killing you will be as easy as flipping my hand." After hearing Wang Mang's words, the autarch of old was stunned at first. Then, he laughed angrily. "Do you think I'm the same as you? Well, have I ever been afraid of someone of the same level? Although I haven't reached the lesser supreme realm, I'm not far away from it. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Let me ask you a question. Do you dare to fight with me? If we were to fight at the same level, and you were able to withstand my attacks without dying, I would naturally not find trouble with you. Otherwise, you can just stay in the third city. If you dare to leave the city, I'll kill you immediately. Towards the end, the autarch of old didn't hide his killing intent towards Wang Mang. As for why he wanted to kill Wang Mang, it was naturally because of a lesser supreme being who had given the order. Whoever could kill Wang Mang would be given a 6th-level divine ability. It could be said that everyone lacked 6th-level divine abilities. Even the autarch of old didn't have a 6th-level divine ability. He didn't even have a 6th-level treasure. However, a 6th-level divine ability was one of the basic conditions to enter the Supreme Realm. Because entering the Supreme Realm not only required an invincible belief, an invincible heart, and an invincible aura. A 6th-level divine ability was also a necessary basic condition. But how could a 6th-level divine ability be so easy to obtain? Even the legendary geniuses like them had no way to obtain it. Because a 6th-level divine ability could only be created by a 6th-level expert. Therefore, even they didn't have any way to create a 6th-level divine ability. Of course, there were also heaven-defying autarchs who might be able to create a 6th-level divine ability. But even the geniuses on the Emperor board, even the lesser supreme being, he had never heard of anyone who had created their own 6th-level divine ability. At this moment, Wang Mang suddenly sneered. Are you threatening me? I'm so scared. Okay, then I'll stay in the city. If you have the ability, then follow me. Let's just wait here and see who can outlast the other. I won't fight with you. What can you do to me? I've given you face, haven't I? Come on, do you want to kill me? Chapter 859. After hearing Wang Mang's words, the Emperor of Ancients was stunned. All the Sky Prides present were stunned as well. They saw Wang Mang's nonchalant attitude. All of a sudden, they were all dumbfounded. Logically speaking, their humiliation and mockery of the ancient emperors were the same. As long as he was a man, he would not reject it for the sake of his pride. He would allow them to humiliate him and provoke him. Wang Mang still refused to fight at the same level. Fine. If you don't dare, then so be it. How can you still be so self-righteous? How can you still be so arrogant? Can't you keep a low profile? How can you be so thick-skinned? That was the thought of all the Sky Prides present. Indeed, a shameless person is invincible. To be honest, even the Emperor of Ancients was infuriated by Wang Mang's arrogant words. If they were outside the city now, he would have killed Wang Mang on the spot. Forget it if you can't beat him. Forget it if you don't dare to fight at the same level. Then you should keep a low profile. In the end, you're even more arrogant than me. Are you the boss, or am I the boss? Are you suppressing me, or am I suppressing you? Who gave you the courage? Liang Jingru? At this moment, the Emperor of Ancients was no longer as calm as before. Instead, his face was filled with anger and gloominess, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. He stared at Wang Mang and said coldly, I have seen through you. You are not strong, but you are good at talking. If we are talking, I am ashamed of my inferiority. Moreover, do you think I can't do anything to you just by stalling for time? When the Battle of the Realms begins, all the Sky Prides are not allowed to stay in a city for more than a year. Otherwise, they will lose the qualification to enter the Battle of the Realms. When the time comes, let's see how you're going to stall for time. After hearing the Emperor of Ancients' words, Wang Mang's heart sank. There was such a rule. If there was such a rule, there was no use in stalling for time. However, Wang Mang didn't mind at all. If worst comes to worst, I'll just give up my qualification to conquer the path of the myriad worlds. What can you do to me? Seeing Wang Mang's nonchalant attitude, the ancient emperor was instantly enraged. At the same time, he also felt a sense of helplessness, because Wang Mang was simply stubborn. Not only did he not dare to fight with him at the same level, moreover, he had been arguing with him the entire time. This angered the great ancient emperor to the point that he was speechless. At this moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding! Congratulations, host. Mission completed. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 20 billion energy points. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained Celestial Emperor Grade Treasure Chest X1. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang was elated. This made him feel much better. After being ridiculed for so long, the reward of this mission could be considered a consolation. But at this moment, the system's voice sounded again. Ding! Detected host's current situation. Host is given the following mission choice. Mission 1. Facing the upcoming female supreme. Choose to take advantage of the opportunity to get rid of the ancient emperor. Mission time. Available upon selection. Mission reward. 10 billion energy points. Celestial King Grey Blind Box X1. Mission 2. Facing the upcoming female supreme. Choose to curry favor with her and become her follower. Mission time. Available upon completion. Mission reward. 50 billion energy points. Celestial Emperor Grade Blind Box X1. Mission 3. Facing the upcoming female supreme. Choose to conquer her domineeringly and make her submit to you. Mission time. Available upon completion. Mission reward. Free evolution opportunity X1. Celestial Emperor Grade Blind Box X1. Celestial Emperor Grade Treasure Chest X1. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was stunned once again and couldn't help but be shocked. Damn, there was actually a female supreme? One had to know that Wang Mang had been conquering the path of the myriad worlds for so long. Basically, he hadn't seen many females. There were too few females. There were also very few females. In short, Wang Mang had really not seen many females. Not to mention that it was a female supreme. This was 2F** King Awesome. Moreover, this was a mission issued by the system. It was somewhat thought-provoking. The third mission was to make a female supreme submit to him. Was he sure that it was only to submit to him? Was he not going to press her down? After thinking for a while, Wang Mang felt that it was unlikely. How could a female autarch, one who had conquered the path of myriad worlds at that, be suppressed by him so easily? If the other party was willing, Wang Mang didn't mind sacrificing his beauty in order to complete the mission. But the problem was, would the other party be willing? Why would she take a fancy to him? Although Wang Mang also knew he was more handsome, he belonged to the type of super potential stock. But she wasn't bad herself. Therefore, Wang Mang wanted to sacrifice his beauty. She might not be interested. At the thought of this, Wang Mang knew it was impossible to get the third mission. It was even more impossible to get the second mission. He was a dignified man. How could he become the other party's follower? Even if the other party had reached the supreme level, she was not qualified to make him a follower. He was a man with a system. At the thought of this, Wang Mang knew that he could only choose the first mission. That was to make use of the other party's power to get rid of the Emperor of Ancient. At the thought of this, Wang Mang silently said in his heart, "System, I choose the first mission." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced. Ding. Congratulations to the host. You have successfully chosen the mission. Please complete the mission as soon as possible to receive the reward. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang secretly heaved a sigh of relief. All he needed to do now was to wait for the arrival of this female utmost exalted. At this moment, after adjusting his emotions, the Emperor of Ancient, who was preparing to continue humiliating Wang Mang, suddenly changed his expression. Then he suddenly raised his head and looked at the end of the street in the city in the distance. His eyes were incomparably sharp, and his face was full of doubt. At the same time, a terrifying aura, which was as terrifying as Mount Tai, instantly engulfed the entire city. In fact, many of the Sky Prides did not even manage to react to the pressure of this Sky Pride's aura. Plop, plop, plop. Under this terrifying aura, the geniuses could not resist it and were forced to kneel on the ground. In the blink of an eye, the hundreds of geniuses nearby all had ugly expressions and were kneeling on the ground in shock. At the same time, many geniuses were resisting this aura with a ferocious look on their faces, but it was to no avail. In fact, some of the geniuses were directly pressed to the ground by this terrifying aura, their faces pressed against the ground. Similarly, even Wang Mang could not straighten his back under this terrifying aura. Even though Wang Mang tried his best to resist this terrifying aura, it was of no use at all. This was because this aura was too terrifying. Chapter 860. He tried his best to activate his power of laws, but he was still unable to resist the pressure. Wang Mang immediately gave up resisting. However, other than Wang Mang and the Emperor of Antiquity, all the geniuses in the area were still alive. At this moment, all the geniuses were either kneeling on the ground or lying on the ground as if they had resigned themselves to their fate. This also caused this heaven's pride to be bewildered. It could be said that he was completely boiling in an instant. What the F***CK? This pressure is too F***king strong. My face is on the ground. Not just you, my face is also on the ground. The ground is a little cold. F***CK your grandmother, who spat on the ground. How dare it stick to my face? I never thought that I, a legendary genius, would be lying on the ground under this pressure. This is definitely a supreme genius. Otherwise, it would be impossible to have such a terrifying pressure. We are the top geniuses in this world. Why would there be such a terrifying genius? Yeah, I have never knelt before heaven and earth. Now, just the pressure alone is forcing me to kneel on the ground. Judging from the reactions of this group of geniuses, it was obviously their first time encountering such a situation. However, they were not fools. They quickly guessed that the owner of this pressure was extremely terrifying. Therefore, even if they were forced to kneel on the ground or lie on the ground, no one dared to curse. Similarly, after Wang Mang stopped resisting the pressure, he immediately guessed that it was very likely that a female supreme genius had appeared. At this thought, Wang Mang was filled with emotions. Is this the pressure of a supreme genius? He, a legendary genius, was also suppressed by this pressure to the point that he could not straighten his back. He had to admit that the pressure of a supreme genius was too terrifying. After taking a deep breath, Wang Mang muttered in his heart, "Don't worry." System. Using the pseudo-rank 6 unlucky card. Target, Emperor Ranking Board, Emperor of Antiquity. The next moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding. Congratulations to the host. You have successfully used the unlucky card. Ding. Gentle reminder. The target will be in a state of extreme bad luck for 24 hours. If it is light, the target will be afflicted with bad luck. If it is heavy, the target will be in danger of death. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang finally breathed a sigh of relief. Wang Mang glanced at the ancient emperor and laughed coldly in his heart. Bastard, you want to kill me? Let's see who will die first. After muttering in his heart for a while, Wang Mang felt a little insecure. Once again, he recited in his heart, System, using the pseudo-rank 6 favorable impression card. Target, female sovereign. The next moment, the system's voice sounded again. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully used the favorability card of the opposite gender. Ding. Gentle reminder. 88% of the target will have a favorable impression of the host. 11. 9% chance of not having any feelings towards the host. 0. 1% chance of falling in love with the host. The F***CK? Wasn't the probability a little too low? Only 0. 1% chance of falling in love with me? Didn't this mean that the chances were too slim? For a moment, Wang Mang was speechless. However, this also proved that there was nothing wrong with his choice of mission. It was obviously impossible for him to subdue this female sovereign, not to mention pressing the other party under his body and submitting to him. At this moment, Wang Mang saw 2 white figures appear at the end of the street in the city. Looking over, there was a white horse with a snow-white figure riding on it. Below the white horse was a beautiful woman in a white robe. She was holding the reins of the horse as she walked over. However, when Wang Mang saw the beautiful woman holding the reins of the horse, Wang Mang was even more dumbfounded. This beautiful woman was none other than the ancestor emperor of the sacred emperor continent. Good fellow, you were so disdainful of me back then. You were so arrogant to me. In the end, you were holding the reins of someone else's horse. Was this one of the 4 great sky prides of the sacred emperor continent? You are a disgrace to all the sky prides of the sacred emperor continent. Although the ancestor emperor was holding the reins of the female sovereign in Wang Mang's eyes, it was a disgrace. How could a legendary sky pride hold the reins of someone else's horse? At that thought, Wang Mang's eyes darted around. Although he despised the ancestor emperor for holding the reins of someone else's horse, it was embarrassing. However, Wang Mang had to admit that this was very stylish. It seems that I need to find someone to hold the reins of the horse. Should I get the ancestor dragon to hold the reins of the horse for me? That's not enough to show off. Moreover, it's all leftovers. Should I get the ancestor dragon to pull the chariot for me? After all, Wang Mang had driven the chaotic ancient chariot before. If he got the ancestor dragon to pull the chariot for him, it would be very impressive. When the time came, it would be enough for him to show off. Just as Wang Mang was thinking about how ostentatious this trip would be, the female sovereign had already come over on her horse. It was worth mentioning that Wang Mang got a clear look at this female prime's face. How should he describe her? As beautiful as a fairy? Not really. In fact, she wasn't as beautiful as the ancestor emperor. However, if the female sovereign's face was described in the words of Earth, she could be described as petite and cute. Her beautiful blue eyes were full of spirituality. Her pretty face was adorably white with a hint of red. She was dressed in a white robe and a jade crown. Her figure was also full. In terms of milk, it was definitely not as big as the ancestor emperor's. If the ancestor emperor's size was like a pomelo, this female sovereign's size was at most 2 peaches. At the same time, just as Wang Mang was sizing up the female sovereign, the ancestor emperor also recognized Wang Mang at a glance. Seeing that Wang Mang's eyes were wandering around, she was extremely disgusted with Wang Mang. Because when they first met, Wang Mang also glanced at her body. Now that they met again, it was still the same. She wished she could dig out Wang Mang's eyes. However, she didn't say anything, because she had already submitted to the female sovereign. Now, she had become a maid. Similarly, the ancestor emperor's gaze was filled with disgust. Wang Mang naturally noticed it too. Although he was very unhappy, he didn't dare to say a word. Then, Wang Mang comforted himself in his heart. Why bother with a maid who was leading the horse? At the same time, the female sovereign was also sizing up Wang Mang. Seeing that Wang Mang hurriedly withdrew his gaze with a guilty conscience, she was still a little proud in her heart. In the past, these prodigies would all stare at her maid. This made her somewhat depressed in her heart, but she didn't take it seriously. Now, it seemed that she was still very beautiful. Thinking of this, the corners of her mouth rose, and she smiled charmingly. Am I beautiful? Hearing this, Wang Mang was stunned at first. Then he hurriedly fawned over her. Beautiful. Too beautiful. Hearing this, the female sovereign nodded in satisfaction, then smiled and asked, How can you be compared to my maid? Hearing this, Wang Mang was stunned again and cursed in his heart. Damn it. Don't you have any idea in your heart? How can you be compared to the ancestor emperor? Although her strength is not as good as yours. Although this little bitch is hateful. But she is indeed extremely beautiful. Of course, this was just what he thought in his heart. On the surface, Wang Mang flattered. In my opinion, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that you're the most beautiful woman in all of history. As for you, little girl, although you are slightly beautiful, how can you be compared to you? Chapter 861. As soon as Wang Mang finished speaking, he felt the ancestor emperor's angry gaze, as well as the slightly disdainful gazes of the group of geniuses. Obviously, Wang Mang was lying through his teeth. They all saw it clearly. In their opinion, it was too shameless. Of course, there were still some who were envious. After all, this female paragon was willing to talk to Wang Mang. This proved that they had a good impression of Wang Mang. This was exactly what they envied and desired. A female paragon. If only they could curry favor with her. The benefits they would receive were simply unimaginable. Didn't you see that even the maidservants who held the reins for the female paragon were powerful and talented? Similarly, the Emperor of Ancients beside Wang Mang also looked down on Wang Mang's humble fawning. After all, Wang Mang was ranked 288 on the monarch ranking. In the end, he had no bottom line. He was simply a disgrace among the legendary geniuses. All right, although he was similar. For his 6th-level divine ability, he was willing to come from the 12 cities to kill Wang Mang. But in reality, he was about the same as Wang Mang, the eldest brother of Mo Xiao, the second brother. However, he still couldn't stand Wang Mang's dominance. So he sneered coldly. Some people don't even care about their face. In order to curry favor, they are full of nonsense. As the Emperor of Ancients spoke, the smile on the female paragon's face stiffened slightly. Although the female paragon also knew that Wang Mang's words were just to make her happy, it didn't affect her. At this moment, she was in a good mood. However, as the Emperor of Ancients spoke, she suddenly couldn't be happy, and her beautiful face became calm in the blink of an eye. A pair of beautiful blue eyes quietly stared at the Emperor of Ancients, expressionless from beginning to end. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang was immediately overjoyed. I was just thinking about how to help you attract hatred. Aren't you being a little too tactful? It seems that this unlucky card is starting to work. Thinking of this, Wang Mang immediately pointed his finger and said angrily, "Ancient Emperor, what do you mean? Am I wrong? How dare you say that I'm full of lies? Could it be that this female supreme martial artist is ugly in your eyes? So ugly that you can't bear to look at it? What do you mean? You don't have to beat around the bush if you want to call a female supreme being ugly, do you?" After hearing Wang Mang's words, the ancient emperor's face stiffened and the corner of his mouth twitched. In his opinion, Wang Mang's words could simply be said to be harboring evil intentions. He was obviously trying to sow discord between him and this female supreme martial artist. Even though the emperors of old knew about it, there was nothing they could do. After he said those words earlier, in fact, he regretted it. He didn't know what was wrong with him either. Why did he have to annoy a female supreme martial artist? Perhaps it was because of Wang Mang's attitude towards the female supreme martial artist and his attitude towards him. This made him feel very dissatisfied and unhappy. There was a huge contrast between the two types of treatment. As a result, he couldn't help but annoy this female supreme martial artist. Thinking of this, the Emperor of Ancient looked at Wang Mang with a cold expression, but he didn't say anything. He was in the great circle of the God Emperor realm, and the legendary prodigies had also reached the peak. Why would he need to be afraid of a female supreme martial artist? Therefore, the ancient emperor, who wanted to explain, snorted coldly and didn't explain. Seeing this, Wang Mang immediately said again, "Female supreme martial artist, did you see that? This guy is so arrogant that he doesn't even put you in his eyes. Before you came, he already said that he didn't think he would lose to a supreme martial artist. Now, he even said that you're ugly. If it were me, I definitely wouldn't be able to tolerate it." After saying this, Wang Mang simply didn't say anything and looked at the female supreme martial artist. He didn't believe that this female supreme martial artist wouldn't be angry, even though he did have the suspicion of sowing discord. But the ancient emperor's attitude earlier, he really didn't take this female supreme martial artist seriously. Otherwise, Wang Mang wouldn't have the opportunity to sow discord. Do you have a problem with this supreme martial artist? Why don't you kneel when you see this supreme martial artist? At this time, the female supreme martial artist looked at the ancient emperor indifferently. Hearing this, the ancient emperor's face was gloomy. Why should this emperor kneel to you? You're just a lesser supreme martial artist. This emperor is a peak 9th heavenly layer divine emperor, a legend rank heaven's pride. My battle strength is at the peak 6th heavenly layer, only one heavenly layer lower than you. What qualifications do you have to make this emperor kneel to you? If this emperor kneels, can you bear it? Obviously, although the ancient emperor wasn't as good as the female supreme martial artist. But the female supreme martial artist made him kneel, which was a great insult to him. Even in the Legend City, the 10 lesser supreme martial artists weren't qualified to make him kneel. What was a female supreme martial artist? Was she qualified to make him, a peak legend rank Heaven's Pride, kneel? One had to know that he was different from other legend rank Heaven's Pride. He was a peak legend rank Heaven's Pride with a strong foundation. If nothing unexpected happened before the opening of the path of conquering the heavens, he had stepped into the lesser supreme martial artist realm because of the accumulation of foundation. Therefore, the lesser supreme martial artist wasn't qualified to make him kneel. Even a greater supreme martial artist, or even an invincible self-esteem, couldn't do it. Perhaps it was because she felt that her majesty had been provoked. After hearing these words, the female supreme martial artist suddenly laughed. Then, what do I have to do to make you kneel willingly? Hearing this, all the Heaven's Pride kneeling on the ground were surprised. They didn't expect things to turn out like this. The emperor ranked Big Shot, who had just returned from the 12 cities. But now, he was forced to kneel by a female supreme martial artist. He was like a god of death, a typical coolness of less than 3 seconds. All of a sudden, the group of Heaven's Pride kneeling on the ground. They all had the intention of watching a good show, with a playful look in their eyes. At the same time, after seeing this scene, Wang Meng couldn't help but be overjoyed. The bigger the conflict between this guy and the female supreme martial artist, the better. At that time, this guy wouldn't be able to protect himself. Naturally, they wouldn't be able to find trouble with him. Thinking of this, Wang Meng was in a good mood. At this moment, facing the aggressive female supreme martial artist, the ancient emperor laughed out of anger. You want this emperor to kneel to you? Sure. If you defeat this emperor, what's wrong with this emperor kneeling to you? Seeing this scene, Wang Meng was stunned. This guy was really fierce. He actually dared to fight with this female supreme martial artist at the same level. Wasn't he afraid of losing his invincibility? It should be noted that once the belief of being invincible crumbled, then his achievements would stop at junior supreme martial artist. This was also the case where Wang Meng didn't have enough preparation. The reason why he didn't want to fight with the ancient emperor at the same level. He didn't have much invincibility in the first place. It wouldn't be worth it if he lost in a fight. What's more, his accumulation was really not comparable to the ancient emperor's. This guy's talent was probably about to be accumulated. He also had a weapon, a pseudo 6th order silver spear in his hand. In addition, he probably had more pseudo 6th order divine abilities than him. All in all, Wang Meng didn't fight with this guy, because if Wang Meng's current foundation was that of a junior supreme martial artist, then the ancient emperor in front of him was definitely a supreme martial artist. At this moment, Wang Meng saw the female supreme martial artist nodding and chuckling. Very good. This emperor won't bully you. Let's fight at the same level in the arena. If you can defeat this emperor will give you a 6th order divine ability. Hearing this, the ancient emperor immediately snorted coldly. Good. Well, have I ever been afraid of fighting at the same level? After saying that, he didn't forget to glance at Wang Meng and ridicule him. Do you think this emperor is like you, only knowing how to talk? Hearing this, Wang Meng was immediately displeased and immediately retorted with a sneer. You want to defeat the female supreme martial artist with your silver spear? If you can win, this emperor will twist my head off on the spot for you to kick. Chapter 862. The reason why Wang Meng said this was because he was full of confidence. Don't forget, he had used the pseudo-rank 6 bad luck card on the Emperor of Ancients. If this guy could defeat the female paragon at the same level of combat power, this guy was too heaven-defying. Therefore, Wang Meng was not worried at all. At the same time, The Emperor of Ancients ignored Wang Mang's mockery and walked towards the battle arena with his silver spear in hand. Obviously, even in the face of the female paragon, he was not afraid at all. He also wanted to experience the strength of the female paragon. Soon, the female paragon and the Emperor of Ancients arrived at the battle arena. At the same time, the female paragon also retracted her aura. This also made the crowd of geniuses heave a sigh of relief. If the female paragon did not retract her aura, they could only kneel. At the same time, the crowd of geniuses was also discussing. Do you guys think that the primordial emperor will be able to defeat the female paragon? Even if he can't win, I'm afraid he won't lose his life. After all, he is a complete legend. That's right, the Emperor of Ancients is really powerful. At least he dares to fight with the female paragon. I admire him. It's just a female paragon. After all, the world still belongs to us men. I heard that there are many paragons in the 12 cities. That's right. Although the female paragon is a little different, the number of male paragons in the 12 cities can't be compared. Obviously, many geniuses still had a good impression of the Emperor of Ancients. Although they did not dare to speak ill of the female paragon openly, they also expressed their support for the Emperor of Ancients. Wang Mang naturally heard these words. This also made Wang Mang very unhappy. The Emperor of Ancients had just arrived. Why was he so popular? This group of bootlickers will die a horrible death. After cursing in his heart, Wang Mang's gaze landed on the martial arena. At this moment, the female paragon and the Emperor of Ancients had entered the battle arena. What made Wang Mang even more shocked was that the Emperor of Ancients dared to have a life and death battle with a female paragon at the same level of combat power. The so-called life and death battle meant that once one was defeated, one's life and death would be completely up to the victor. While they were still in shock, a terrifying white barrier rose up from the arena and sealed off the entire arena. After that, Wang Mang saw the Emperor of Ancients, who was furious. He flung his dragon robe and charged towards the female supreme being with his silver spear. After that, Wang Mang could no longer see the battle clearly. The speed of the two of them was already extremely fast. White and golden light crisscrossed and chased after each other. Even Wang Mang couldn't see their battle speed clearly. As for the other spectating heavens favorites, they were even more confused. Their faces were blank, as if they were watching a lonely scene. Soon, Wang Mang saw that the two of them had separated again. Then, they began to use their divine abilities to attack each other. Unfortunately, the result was immediately obvious. If one were to say that the previous battle was on par with each other. But now, the emperors of antiquity were in a sorry state as the two sides clashed. He was continuously suppressed by the female supreme being. His nose was disheveled, and his body was covered in wounds. Left with no choice, the emperors of antiquity began to avoid the divine abilities used by the female supreme being. Then, the emperors of antiquity roared and raised a spear to attack the female supreme being again. Unfortunately, before the emperors of antiquity could get close, a white light whizzed past. A long sword pierced through the emperors of antiquity's chest. Together with the emperors of antiquity, they were fiercely fixed in mid-air. Similarly, the emperors of antiquity's face, which was originally filled with battle intent, suddenly became confused. His eyes became dimmer and dimmer. At the same time, Wang Mang saw that the female supreme being had already opened her small mouth and gently sucked. Then, the emperors of antiquity turned into a bloody mist and was instantly sucked clean. In the arena, only the silver spear and the king's token were left on the ground. At the same time, the barrier on the arena had automatically collapsed. Then, Wang Mang saw the female supreme being stretch out her hand. The king's token and the silver spear appeared in her hand. At this moment, Wang Mang heard the sigh of the true god of the ancients in his ear. This guy is unlucky. He chose the emperors of antiquity. In the end, the emperors of antiquity died. At least this time, he will no longer have the chance to become the king's token's master. Hearing this, Wang Mang's heart suddenly moved. Then he asked in a low voice, In other words, if I die, you won't be able to choose a master for at least this time? Hearing this, the true god of the ancients' calm voice sounded. This old man is still very assured about you. You will definitely become a junior supreme being. Back then, this old man chose you because of your cautious nature. When I saw you flattering a female supreme being, this old man knew that you don't have any good points, but you can live. This old man is gratified by your cautiousness. Your invincible belief gives this old man a headache. Other people's invincible belief is that they are not afraid of heaven and earth, and they are not afraid of fighting with people of the same level. Your invincible belief is based on the basic condition that your opponent is weaker than you. Hearing the true god of the ancients' words, Wang Meng didn't care at all. He sneered disdainfully. Could it be that my invincible belief should be based on the foundation that my opponent is stronger than me? Look at the emperors of antiquity. This is the result of overestimating himself. He didn't even last for 2 incense sticks of time before he died. What's the use of being so awesome? Even his primordial spirit and true spirit were swallowed by this female, supreme being. Isn't his death unjust? After hearing Wang Meng's words, what else could the true god of the ancients say? He was speechless. At the same time, the group of geniuses, seeing the emperors of antiquity fall so quickly, they were also shocked. Was this the power of a supreme being? Even if it was just a junior supreme being, she was still ridiculously strong, in a battle of the same level. A perfected mythical genius. She didn't even last for 3 incense sticks of time. This simply subverted their cognition and worldview. At the same time, it also made them realize more deeply. Mythical geniuses couldn't be compared to supreme-level geniuses. They could definitely suppress and kill geniuses of the same level. At this moment, in the arena, the female supreme being leaped up and sat on the white horse. She smiled at Wang Meng with a relaxed expression and said, "You're not bad. I have high hopes for you. I'll give you this silver dragon spear. I hope you won't become a second silver spear wax head." After saying that, the female supreme being raised her jade-like hand, and the silver dragon spear was firmly nailed to Wang Meng's feet. Seeing this scene, Wang Meng was instantly stunned. F***CK. I was just watching the show. Not only did I get rid of the enemy, but I also got rid of a freak. I even got a pseudo 6th-level divine weapon for free. Just as Wang Meng was dumbfounded, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully completed the mission." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 50 billion energy values." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained an immortal emperor-level blind box X1. Chapter 863. While Wang Meng was still in a daze, many of the geniuses present looked at Wang Meng with envy and jealousy. Obviously, for Wang Meng, who had won a pseudo-rank 6 divine weapon for free. Needless to say, they were envious and jealous. If they had known that licking it would be useful, they could also kneel and lick it. Moreover, they could lick it anywhere as long as they could obtain a pseudo-rank 6 divine weapon. This was because a pseudo-rank 6 divine weapon was extremely useful to an extreme realm genius. In addition, a pseudo-rank 6 divine weapon was extremely lethal and could kill an extreme realm genius. Of course they wanted it, but this thing was a hot commodity. Ordinary extreme realm geniuses didn't even have it. In addition, even an extreme realm genius couldn't refine a pseudo-rank 6 divine weapon. Most of the geniuses could only search for the tomb of the invincible supreme in the great desolate forest to see if they could pick it up. However, most of the time, they didn't have a pseudo-rank 6 divine weapon, or they had already been taken by other geniuses. At this moment, even Wang Meng had to admit that this feeling of winning was really great. Thinking of this, Wang Meng immediately cupped his hands and thanked her with an excited expression. "Thank you for your reward, female supreme. I wish you the best of luck on your journey to the heavens and realms. I wish you the best." After hearing Wang Mang's words, the female supreme nodded in satisfaction and then ordered the ancestor emperor to lead the horse away. Soon, the female supreme rode the white horse and disappeared from the sight of all the geniuses. After the female supreme left, Wang Mang looked at the silver dragon spear in front of him happily. Then, Wang Mang held the silver dragon spear tightly in his hand. He could feel that the silver dragon spear was extraordinary. After all, it was a pseudo-rank 6 divine weapon. This was a combat divine weapon exclusive to the extreme realm. How could its power be weak? One had to know that Wang Mang only had 2 pseudo-rank 6 divine abilities. One could imagine how helpful a pseudo-rank 6 divine weapon was to Wang Mang. Not bad, not bad. After sizing it up for a while, Wang Mang couldn't bear to part with the divine weapon. In the future, the gap between him and the prodigies of the same level of combat prowess would shrink a little. This was a good sign. At the same time, Wang Mang also had a plan in his heart. If there was a designated lottery in the future, he would get a F** King divine weapon or divine ability. Ever since he had become a Lameter prodigy, Wang Mang increasingly felt that his foundation in mystique was lacking. He had to make up for it. Wang Mang, who was in a good mood, immediately brandished the silver spear in his hand and performed a set of spear techniques. He looked incomparably handsome. This scene was naturally witnessed by all the sky prides present. The jealousy in their eyes was extremely obvious. Many heavenly talents began to whisper among themselves. This guy is probably living off a woman. I look down on him. That's right. If he had the ability, he wouldn't have rejected an ancient emperor's challenge. That's right. It's just a petty person intoxicated by success. What's the point of being such a coward? Hearing this group of muttering sky prides, Wang Mang immediately moved his spear and pointed the tip of the spear at one of the sky prides. He said coldly, "Your mouth is quite powerful. I now challenge you to a battle of the same level of combat prowess. Do you dare to accept?" The sky pride that Wang Mang was pointing at was the one who had been mocking him the most previously. This handsome sky pride in a blue robe instantly stiffened when Wang Mang pointed his spear at him. Under Wang Mang's condescending and disdainful gaze, his face turned even redder. He gritted his teeth and said, "So what if you're challenging me? Why didn't you dare to accept the ancient emperor's challenge just now? You only know how to bully the weak and fear the strong. What kind of killing god are you?" Hearing this, Wang Mang sneered and said, "Aren't you guys the same? Besides, I'm bullying the weak and fear the strong. What can you do about it? If you have the courage, come and challenge me. I don't mind sending you to meet the ancient emperor in the afterlife." After hearing Wang Mang's arrogant and cold words, the sky prides present were all angry, but did not dare to say anything. The sky prides who had mocked Wang Mang earlier quickly shrank back into the group of sky prides. Seeing this, Wang Mang sneered and pointed his spear at the sky prides' noses in disdain. He said arrogantly, "Be careful, you ignorant fool. Why don't you take a look at yourself? Are you worthy of criticizing me?" After saying that, Wang Mang walked towards the teleportation gate. He was prepared to go to the remaining sky prides in the first round. As for why he didn't go to the 4th, 5th, and 6th cities, that was because Wang Mang only needed the sky pride points. As for the energy points, Wang Mang was not worried at all. He could obtain them at any time. Moreover, as long as he had enough in the first round. The sky prides in the first round were enough for him to accumulate his talent points. Moreover, Wang Mang was not sure if there would be no more supreme sky prides in the later rounds. Although Wang Mang was confident that he could establish a foothold in the 12 cities, it was better to be cautious. Besides, why didn't Wang Mang go to the 1st and 2nd cities to hunt? Wang Mang knew that there would not be many sky prides in these 2 places. That was because there were already powerful sky prides hunting outside these 2 city gates. After arriving at the teleportation gate, Wang Mang saw it, outside the teleportation gate that looked like a light screen. There was a string of numbers written on it, 10088. After seeing this number, Wang Mang was stunned. Could this be the 10,088th teleportation gate in the 3rd city? However, Wang Mang still walked to the teleportation gate. Then, the Emperor Ranking's voice sounded. Current location, 10,088th city in the 3rd city. Please select your destination to teleport to. Hearing that, Wang Mang was stunned for a moment. Then, he said softly, randomly teleport to the 3rd city. Following this, the Emperor Ranking's voice sounded again. Please enter the teleportation light screen. You will be randomly teleported to another city in the 3rd city. Hearing this, Wang Mang stepped in the light screen and disappeared. Soon after, Wang Mang felt a wave of dizziness. The intense light caused him to be unable to open his eyes. When Wang Mang reappeared, he had arrived at the teleportation gate of a new city. However, in the next moment, the geniuses around the Monarch leaderboard and Sovereign leaderboard all turned to look at him. When they saw Wang Mang, the Sky Prides instantly became restless. Holy crap! Someone on the Emperor ranking is here? 2,880th place. Oh my god! Awesome! Someone on the Emperor ranking is here? Such an arrogant name. Slaughtering all the dogs on the Emperor ranking? He's ruthless. This guy's strength was way too strong. I'm afraid his aura has reached the 4th layer, Supreme Realm. This big shot must have a king's token on him. I heard that there are only 12 king badges. Yeah, with the coronation medallion, I'll be able to advance and retreat as I please, and I'll be able to hunt down prodigies without fear. Now that you mention it, I strongly suspect that this person is here to hunt down the geniuses. F***Kami. That does seem to be the case. It's not beneficial for us to be here. Hearing the discussions of the geniuses, Wang Mang was left speechless. He realized that being listed on the Monarch ranking was not a good thing either. He could conceal his aura to disguise himself. The problem was the golden words above his head, and the Monarch ranking could not hide his information. In other words, the geniuses of the 3rd city would not dare to act recklessly when they saw him. Even the geniuses outside the city would immediately hide in the city or the 4th city after knowing his arrival. However, even so, it did not stop Wang Mang from killing them. Thus, Wang Mang's body moved, and he rapidly rushed toward the exit of the 3rd city. Upon seeing this, the geniuses at the scene were even more astonished. They could easily tell that Wang Mang was planning to hunt down the geniuses. That was the truth. However, when Wang Mang left the exit of the 3rd city, he discovered that many geniuses were already on the move. Some of them had fled into the city. Some of them chose to enter the 4th city. Obviously, they would rather enter a higher city than stay here and be killed by Wang Mang, a terrifying genius on the Monarch ranking. After seeing Wang Mang, many prodigies couldn't help but reveal a look of lingering fear. Luckily, they had some hidden scouts. Otherwise, they would not be able to react in time. Seeing this, Wang Mang felt even more helpless. He now regretted his decision to become a genius on the Monarch ranking. Damn it, there was no way he could hide his identity. It seemed like it was not that easy to hunt down the geniuses with the King badge. Unless, he would have a better chance to hunt down the geniuses when the Path of Conquest was activated. The reason was that these geniuses could not use the portal, not even to teleport to the other 3rd city. That was because the portal was for the geniuses with the King badge. Otherwise, the King badge would not be so precious. It could be said that all the portals in these cities were like VIP channels. However, just as Wang Mang was feeling helpless, the system's voice sounded frowny-facing. The host's current situation has been detected. The host is given the following mission to choose from. Mission 1. Go to the 12th city in the upcoming Path of Conquest and raise your ranking to the top 100 on the Monarch ranking. Mission time. Obtained upon completion. Mission reward. 100 billion energy value. Immortal Emperor Treasure Chest X1. Immortal Emperor Blind Box X1. Random Draw Chance X1. Designated Draw Chance X1. Mission 2. Go to the Path of Conquest and choose to block an entrance to the Path of Conquest and slowly accumulate talent value until you have the talent value to become a lesser sovereign. Mission time. Obtain upon completion. Mission reward. 10 billion energy value. Immortal Emperor Treasure, Chest, X1. Random Draw, Chance X1. Mission 3. Go to the Path of Conquest and block the only entrance to the 12th city. Quickly kill the geniuses and accumulate talent value until you have the talent value to become a lesser sovereign. Mission time, obtained upon completion. Mission reward, 60 billion energy value. Immortal Emperor Treasure, Chest, X1. Immortal Emperor Blind Box, X1. Chapter 864. When he heard that there were 3 missions, Wang Mang was stunned. He did not expect the system to encourage him to head to a higher city. This made Wang Mang fall into deep thought. Wang Mang did not have much interest in heading to the 12 cities so early. He wanted to continue in the first round and bully those emperor gods. It seemed that the system did not encourage him to stay in the first round. It could be seen from the second mission. The reward for the first mission was very generous. He only needed to be in the top 100. The reward for the third mission was also very generous. He should be able to gain a lot by going to the first city to hunt geniuses. Based on what the system said, if there was only one in the 12 cities, there must be a lot of geniuses. With this thought, Wang Mang immediately had an idea. Then, Wang Mang said in his heart, "System, I choose the first mission." In the next moment, the system's voice was heard. "Ding! Congratulations, host. You have successfully chosen the mission. Please complete the mission as soon as possible to receive the reward." After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang immediately gave up the idea of hunting those geniuses. Although he chose the first mission, he was prepared to do the third mission and receive the reward for the first mission. Then, Wang Mang, who was in a good mood, turned around and returned to the third city. Then, under the respectful gazes of the geniuses, Wang Mang came to the teleportation gate and stepped into it. He said in his heart, "Go to the 11th city and teleport randomly." Then, in the next moment, Wang Mang disappeared into the teleportation gate completely. When he appeared in the 11th city and felt the dazzling light screen disappear, only then did Wang Mang open his eyes and size up his surroundings. He was extremely surprised. He had always thought that only the last city would have a teleportation gate in each round. However, the current situation was completely different from what he had guessed. At the same time, Wang Mang also realized that there were many geniuses of the supreme state in the 11th city. In fact, Wang Mang even found some geniuses of the emperor ranking board among the geniuses in the city. It's just that these guys' rankings aren't very high. On the contrary, Wang Mang's appearance attracted the attention of many sky prides. The reason was none other than the fact that the prodigies here knew that they could use a separate teleportation gate in the city. This proved that the heaven's favorite before him definitely had the royal decree. If it weren't for the fact that Wang Mang was extremely powerful, there would definitely be many geniuses eyeing him. But even so, these geniuses did not take Wang Mang seriously. There were even quite a few geniuses who had set their eyes on Wang Mang. They could sense that Wang Mang's strength had reached the 4th firmament of the paramount realm. But so what? There were many Lameter prodigies here. In addition, outside the exit of the 11th city, there were hundreds of 11th cities. However, there was only one of the 12 cities, which was the mythical city. Hence, there was no need to talk about a 4th firmament Lameter. They had even met supreme beings before. Therefore, Wang Mang's strength really couldn't do much here. At the same time, Wang Mang also discovered that the quality of the geniuses in this city was really high. Lameter prodigies could be seen everywhere, and there were even 2nd firmament and 3rd firmament of the paramount realm. Not long after, he even saw 2 4th firmament of the paramount realm prodigies. No wonder his arrival didn't cause any waves at all. However, this also made Wang Mang very excited. Because there were so many geniuses here, it proved one thing. If he wanted to hunt and kill the geniuses, it would be too easy. Thinking of this, Wang Mang walked towards the exit of the city happily. But in the process, Wang Mang realized that the 11th city was too big. Moreover, there were also many geniuses, close to 10,000 of them. Even geniuses with the battle strength of a 9th firmament divine god were like ants here. Moreover, there were all kinds of geniuses in the city selling all kinds of treasures. However, most of the treasures sold by the geniuses here were bartering. Very soon, Wang Mang arrived at the exit of the 11th city. However, the scene in front of him once again shocked Wang Mang. Looking around, there were densely packed cities all around. In a row, there were at least 111 cities. Other than that, there was an endless forest around him. He couldn't even see the so-called 12th city at all. It could be said that Wang Mang didn't know where the 12th city was. Moreover, when Wang Mang took a look, he discovered that there was no one there. Outside the nearby 111th city gates, many geniuses were moving in and out, and most of them were in small groups of 3 to 5. Of course, there were also powerful geniuses who were alone. It could be said that they were bold because of their skills. The purpose was to see a large number of geniuses entering and leaving the forest at any time. Similarly, in the sky above the forest, geniuses could be seen fighting everywhere. Moreover, other than humans, there were all kinds of monsters here. There were even King Pig and dog monsters. It was an eye-opener for Wang Mang. All in all, it could be said that there were all kinds of monsters here. Seeing this, Wang Mang couldn't help but get excited. This was the battlefield that he should have. There were so many geniuses here that he couldn't kill them all. Moreover, he was a little hungry and thirsty. With that thought, Wang Mang's body moved, and he flew toward the great wasteland. However, not long after he entered the forest, Wang Mang found that someone was watching him. This immediately made Wang Mang laugh. In the past, he was the one who slaughtered other geniuses. However, he had just arrived, and there were already geniuses watching him. Thinking of this, Wang Mang sneered in his heart, then said coldly, "Come out. You don't have to hide. I've already found you." In the next moment, 3 legendary geniuses suddenly flew out from the forest behind him. At the same time, the 3 legendary geniuses with the combat strength of the 4th heaven of the supreme realm suddenly appeared. After the 3 of them appeared with smiles on their faces, they stood in a position that firmly blocked Wang Mang. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang stood with his hands behind his back and said indifferently, "What? Do you want to kill me?" Hearing this, the 3 young geniuses looked at each other and laughed. "Huh, do you think that we can't kill you together? Originally, you weren't worthy of our attention. But who told you to have the king's token? That's right. Kid, do you understand that an innocent man gets into trouble because of his wealth? Do you know that all 11 king's tokens are in the hands of Little Sovereign? I didn't expect that you actually have a king's token." Speaking of this, the 3 young geniuses looked at each other and then looked at Wang Mang with ridicule. "Otherwise, do you think that a legendary genius like you is worthy of the 3 of us attacking together? That you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.